aspettare. È una cosa da bimbi.
Guardate che capelli!
Adesso
Vieni, papà! Ciao, Pippo! Ciao, Pippo! Ciao, Pippo!
Stai bene, bimbi? Festa per i pazzi. Proprio dietro l'angolo, nella nostra città, bimbi compaiono da sola giocheranno. Ciao mamma, ciao Sula.
Allora, chi abbiamo qui, Pando? È Bella Balù! Oh, che tenero! Sa parlare? Oh, sì! Ha appena i capelli bianchi! Vieni, Pando, entrate! Appetito! Non spaventare, Bella Balù! Lui è piccolino! Ok. Oh, andiamo di sopra! Adesso? Vieni, Appiti! Vieni, Balla Balù! Qualcuno può riconoscerti? Appiti dice, è un vero piacere, Ippoti. Piacere mio, Appiti. Balla Balù sta dicendo che gli piacciono molto le tue ali, Ippoti. Scusa. Possiamo dare una festa? E tu sei invitato. E anche tu sei invitato. Sta dicendo di sì. Torta. Buona. No. Prima si deve preparare il tavolo per la merenda. Sediti qui, ospiti. Prendi questi, si è solo quel piatto. Tieni, Mando. Sì, non puoi metterti lì, ci devo stare io. Perché per rimanere a Balla Balù, lui è piccolino.
Va piano.
Aspettate un momento, prima devo sedere una tazza di tè. Tieni, ospite. Davvero delizioso. Non c'è ancora non l'ha pensato. Ecco, per te e anche per te questo è un po' per me. È squisitizioso. Oh, una fetta di torta per Balla Balù. Oh, dice, ti ringrazio. Che vuole un po' di torta. Beh, deve sedersi con molto bimbo. Questa è per te, Appiti. Ti ringrazio. Gnam, 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 gnam. E una gnam, gnam per me. Gnam, gnam. È una torta molto buona. Ti è piaciuta la torta, Balla Balù? Sta dicendo di sì. Oh, ne vorrebbe un altro po'? Sì. Ecco a te, Balla Balù. No. Perché Balla Balù deve avere 2 fette di torta? Con torta madre, dice. Vedi? Ma questo non è giusto. Ospiti ne ha avuta una sola. Miau. Ehi, fermati, Balla Balù. Smettila, non è la tua torta. Ospiti non è invitato alla festa. Hai capito? Prima mio, ospiti. Lui non è tuo. No, ospiti è troppo cattivo. Oh. Mamma! No! Mamma! Vieni, mi appicca! L'ha preso ospiti. E l'ha messo in una tavola. Ospiti è stato cattivo. Io non stavo Aspetta un momento. Cosa è successo? Quando? Billy ha preso più torta per ospiti. Nessuno ha detto che ospiti era cattivo. Oh, così l'ha messo in una scatola. Poi Billy l'ha stesa.
E metti stop a cosa?
Non è una soluzione.
Neanche prendere il pupazzo. Che andiamo a papà?
Sì, metto questa cosa a live e vengo.
Ok, ti stavo spellando il telefono poco fa.
Greetings, my princess.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Henry, don't be offended. I've been meaning to ask you this question. Why did you choose this career? I mean, what was the motivation?
Motivation. I don't think that's the right word, my princess. I would rather say survival.
Survival? I do not understand.
Bramall Lane, when Sheffield United were flying under Chris Wilder, was a tough place to go. I went there quite a few times to cover matches, and it was just a brilliant atmosphere. They had a real kind of front foot mentality about how they went about attacking teams and going after them. I mean, this will be very different for him because I'm not too sure, his understanding of the players has got to come, what they're capable of. So all of that needs to be figured out. But the one thing he will bring is discipline, intensity, and he'll just try and build that spirit that you need at the bottom of the table. If you have most teams are down there because they might be struggling a little bit with that, or it's a lack of quality. And if it's both, then you're in big trouble. But he will try and bring that spirit back. I mean, the quality he can't do too much about. The players that are there he has to work with. But he'll definitely bring a bit of that and a bit of discipline to the club again.
Well, what do you make of Theo's point that actually playing Liverpool isn't the worst first game that he could have, because nobody will really be expecting too much from it, but there is still the chance for them to get that new manager bounce and take something from the game?
Yeah, I don't disagree, to be honest. Produce a shock, and I think that can be a real motivation and give the team a little bit something. Their backs against the wall, they're not expected to get anything. You can go out and give a good account of yourself. So I don't think it's a bad game for Sheffield United at all.
We've been talking about the relationship between Chris Wilder and the Sheffield United fans, and Ben Humphreys joins us now from the Travelling Blade YouTube channel. Ben, a lot of what we're saying is built on the previous success of Chris Wilder, taking the club from League One to the Premier League. It's his boyhood club. He played, he managed there for 5 seasons. So what is the feeling amongst the fans right now?
Well, I say it's mainly a bit of a mixed one. I think if you go onto social media, you'll see a lot of fans, showing an outpouring of joy, popping corks. But I think there's also a strong cohort of fans that perhaps not as vocal on social media, but still have really a sour taste in their mouth about how things ended last time and the way in which Chris Wilder left. And I think there's also fans such as myself that are sort of somewhere in between the two, where I'm sort of excited because I absolutely loved Wilder, but also you can't really forget how it ended, left in the mouth. So on one side you've got fans that are like over the moon, on the other side you've got a lot of fans that aren't the biggest fans of him because of how it ended and the way in which we went down in such a pathetic manner in the way he left the club in.
And that's the thing. If a manager leaves a club, it's never gonna end well. So is there a bit of reparation that needs to be going on from Chris Wilder?
I mean, I think this season's almost a bit of a free hit for him in a way, because no one expects us to stay up. I think if we hit 19th by the end of the season, I'll be laughing. So I think because he's not got us into this situation this season, so there's almost, I think, very little expectation from him. Almost like when, obviously to a very different extent, but almost like Sam Allardyce going into Leeds last season. No one expected anything. If you pull it off, you're a hero. If you don't, it's not on you, like a goalkeeper in a penalty shootout. So I think a lot of fans will be glad to see him back. He's a very charismatic person. He'll know exactly what to say to the fans. If we get any sort of result at any point, with the up-tapping the badge and all that, and that works wonders with a lot of the fans. So I think it might have to do. I think fans have probably already made their mind up on him. If they're going to love him, they're going to love him. If they're going to be sceptical, they're probably going to remain sceptical until he keeps us up.
Paul Heckingbottom was very critical of the club after the Burnley defeat, saying they were making financial rather than football decisions, selling key players in the summer. He said the club had been let down by some players in the defeat by Burnley. So what kind of squad are you seeing week in, week out, and what is Chris Wilder going to be working with when he comes in?
One that's dejected, broken, one that's given up. I was there at Turf Moor on Saturday. I disagree with Hecky in saying that some of the players had given up, all of the players had given up. It was absolutely pathetic. So I think a change of voice was absolutely vital. I was almost sorry to see Hecky go. He needed to go. He was far from blameless, but he was dealt a bad situation, gave us a lot of good times, but we really needed that change of voice, change of plan, change of idea. Someone just to, initially, even if in the basic sense, rather than getting into the deep insights of the tactics, just to give the players, just to G up the players a bit and give them a bit of a morale boost, because they're absolutely mentally and physically drained. Like going away to Burnley and losing 5-0 and just getting embarrassed every week. We've had the 8-0 at Newcastle, so he's inheriting a squad that's full of injuries, lacking in quality and mentally broken and dejected at this point. So he's got one mammoth of a task on his hands.
Having said
he came into that in 2015 after Atkins and turned it around. So let's hope he can do it again.
Yeah, and having said that, Matt and Theo are both like, do you know what? If you're going to take on a job that big, you might as well play a team like Liverpool first up.
Well, yeah, I saw Chris earlier saying we may as well approach it. I might be paraphrasing there, but sort of saying we could almost approach it as sort of a third round cup tie. We've got Liverpool at home. Because that is honestly, like the way we've been going into these games, like when we had Arsenal away, we looked like a poor League One side against them. So with the gap in quality as well. So I think it's almost I think to be fair, I agree with the lads in saying it's almost a perfect fixture where it's at home under the lights. One of the big sides come in. A bit of a fan base mostly unified under this new appointment, under Wilder. So I think when he walks out, it's going to be a raucous atmosphere and he's going to get one flipping hell of a reception tomorrow. So it's almost perfect in a way. It's just a shame that the opposition happens to be far better than us.
Ben, really good to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. Cheers, guys.
Thank you to Ben Humphries there from the Travelling Blade YouTube channel. You can hear commentary of Sheffield United against Liverpool on the BBC Sport website and app from 7:30 tomorrow. All 10 of this round of matches are going to have commentary on 5 Live across the various different platforms. So keep an eye out, go to the website and you'll be able to work out where you can follow the game that you want to. In the Women's Nations League B, it's finished in Belfast. Northern Ireland 1, Republic of Ireland 6 is the final score there. So we've got commentary of Luton against Arsenal in the Premier League from 8:15 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Alistair Bruce Ball and Matt Upton are the commentary team at Kenilworth Road. Theo Walcott is also with us. Ali, worth just going over some of the headlines in the team news for people who are joining us late for this game.
Yeah, so Arsenal with a win tonight will go 5 points ahead of Liverpool, who sit 2 points behind them tonight in second place, 6 points ahead of Manchester City, both of whom, of course, have got games to come this week. In terms of the Arsenal team news, 2 changes come in the fullback positions. Tomiyasu missing with slight tightness in his calf, so Ben White will start at right back, and Jakub Kivior comes in at left back. Zinchenko drops to the bench. Kai Havertz gets another Premier League start this evening. Leandro Trossard is amongst the substitutes, and 4 changes for Luton as well. Captain Tom Lockyer came off at half-time at the weekend with a back problem. He's not made it, but Tayden Mengi has. Alfie Doughty comes in. He'll start at left wing back. Amari Bell will drop into the back 3. Andros Townsend comes in for Tahith Chong, and a couple of interesting changes up front. We'll have to see how these play out during the course of the game. Jacob Brown, who scored in his last couple of games, and Elijah Adebayo both start, with Obene and Carlton Morris both on the bench.
Reflection on that and looking ahead to the game in just a moment after we've checked in at Molineux, where it was a 7:30 kickoff. Mike Minay's watching.
So we've played 26 minutes, Kelly. Wolves really struggling to get out of their own half. Having said that, best chance so far, Sarabia coming close. Deflected shot on the left of the penalty area. Deflected right up in the air. Needed James Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper, backpedaling all the time to tip it over his bar. Would have been a lucky goal for Wolves. Burnley the better side, keeping Wolves in their own half, trying to be creative. Koleosho especially on the left. But no major test of Dan Bentley yet in the Wolves goal. Wolves 0, Burnley 0.
And let's check in on what's happening at Hampden with Gavin Wallace.
Scotland 0, England 0, 11 minutes on the clock, and England really looking up for this. Alex Greenwood had a free kick. It was just far too deep at the back post. England have just went 1-0 up. I'm not entirely sure who scored, but England are 1 up, and that is exactly the start they wanted to this. The Olympic dream is alive for England. We'll come back to you with the goal scorer in a minute, but it's Scotland 0, England 1.
Gavin, thank you very much. Details on that one to follow. But of course, England will also be keeping an eye on what happens in the game between the Netherlands and Belgium. Charlie Slater.
Yeah, 12 gone here, 0-0. But I imagine word will filter to Holland as well that England have taken the lead. It is all the Dutch so far. And now they're going to have a go at goal, which is well blocked. As it stands, of course, England still need a couple more goals. That said, looks like a matter of time before the Dutch take the lead as well. Netherlands 0, Belgium 0.
Thank you very much for that, Charlie. As I said, significant for England, that one, but also for some of those Scotland players who were hoping to be part of the Team GB squad for the Olympics, because that is resting on that game at Hampden as well. So we'll keep an eye on both those games. Also, FA Cup action this evening at Alfreton for us, Chris Coles.
Alfreton 0, Walsall 0. It's been a really confident start from Walsall. They've already had the ball in the Alfreton net, disallowed for a little push on the goalkeeper. Corner whipped in, went straight in, but the referee pulled it back for a free kick to the non-league side. They're just beginning to find their feet in this game. 13 minutes in, Alfreton 0, Walsall 0.
And with more details on that England goal, Gavin Wallace.
Great goal from Alex Greenwood, to be fair. It was a free header, came from a corner, just straight into the penalty spot. An absolute pick it out from the goalkeeper. It was a superb header from Alex Greenwood. Scotland 0, England 1, and as it stands, England will qualify.
Lots more build-up to come of Luton against Arsenal. An 8:15 kick-off at Kenilworth Road. That's our commentary match on 5 Live Sport this evening. First, though, we're going to get the very latest news headlines.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
At 5 Live News, good evening, I'm Nick Hatfield. The Home Secretary, James Cleverly, says the new treaty with Rwanda addresses concerns the Supreme Court raised about the safety of asylum seekers. Mr. Cleverly signed the agreement in Rwanda this afternoon. A key part of the treaty means asylum seekers can't be returned to the country they're fleeing. The Shadow Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, says this is just more Tory asylum chaos.
They've sent more Home Secretaries than they have asylum seekers to Rwanda, and this scheme is badly failing. They still won't tell us how much it will cost, even though we've already know that we've spent £140 million or more on this scheme. And what they could be doing is putting that money into going after the criminal smuggler gangs.
Israel says its troops are engaged in some of the heaviest fighting since it launched its offensive in Gaza 8 weeks ago. The Israeli military says they're at the heart of Khan Yunis in the south. They've also surrounded a refugee camp in the north, which they say Hamas is using as a base. South Wales police have arrested a man in connection with the stabbing of a 29-year-old woman in the town of Aberfan this morning. Several schools in the town were put into lockdown following the incident. The 28-year-old man is being questioned on suspicion of attempted murder. Junior doctors in England will walk out in further strikes in December and January after they rejected a new pay offer from the government. Their union, the BMA, says the deal, worth an extra 3% on average this year, is not credible. The Health Secretary, Victoria Atkins, called the breakdown in talks disappointing. And the lead singer of the Moody Blues and the guitarist with the band Wings, Denny Lane, has died at the age of 79.
I'm Troy Deeney. And I'm Jermaine Defoe. And Football First is back. Football First from BBC Radio 5 Live. In this podcast, we reveal the football first that have shaped our careers. From the first time we got dropped to the first time we missed an absolute sitter. I missed from 3 yards, but apparently I started laughing afterwards, which sums me up. The first time we got sold. And the first time Jermaine name dropped a world famous rapper. When I signed for Toronto, Drake phoned me, yeah? Well, I'm sick, you know. Why? Because you just fully dropped Drake phoned you. My nan texts me in between this. Football First from BBC 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Kelly Cates. On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Commentary of Luton against Arsenal in the Premier League in less than 15 minutes here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. That's one of 10 Premier League matches over the next 3 days across all our platforms. Wolves against Burnley is on the BBC Sport website and app right now. That one kicked off at 7:30 and is goalless as yet. You can also listen to Scotland against England in the Women's Nations League on 5 Sports Extra. At stake there are England's qualification place for the Euros and Team GB's qualification for the Olympics. So important for both the England players and those Scotland players who will be hoping to be part of that Olympic squad as well. We'll also keep you across both those games. We'll keep you across the latest from the FA Cup second round as well. With us, though, to look ahead to that game at Kenilworth Road, your commentary team of Alistair Bruce Ball and Matt Upson. Theo Walcott is also with us. Mikel Arteta and the Luton boss Rob Edwards, close friends because they did their coaching badges together. Mikel Arteta says the job that Rob Edwards has done with Luton in the past year is inspirational, which means, on the flip side, Matt Upson, that they know all about each other, and that should mean that they know how each other is going to set up this evening.
Well, you've just explained all those changes that Rob Edwards has made tonight. Kelly, he's seen the bigger picture here. He knows exactly what Mikel Arteta wants to do, and he's trying to counteract it. But no, it's a bit of a bromance going on there, isn't there? You know, a lot of respect for each other. They obviously worked with each other in terms of on the coaching qualifications and got to know each other in terms of their style and what they think about football. Those courses are quite open, a lot of open debate on certain things. So, yeah, I think it makes this game a little bit more interesting, the fact that they've got a little bit of a relationship and understand each other, you know, how they want to coach and what their thoughts are on quite a few different things.
Obviously, Arsenal this season, Theo, have got the benefit of the bruising encounter with Manchester City last time around, where it just wasn't quite enough come the end of the season. They have that experience this time around. Although they are 4 points worse off than at this time last year, this looks like a much more competitive title race, and teams look like they can drop points at any stage. The teams around them certainly. But this opportunity to be able to go further ahead of this round of matches is huge for Arsenal.
Yeah, you know, you just hit the nail on the head there, really. I think Arsenal's next fixtures as well are pretty interesting. So, yeah, it's really important for them to sort of like stamp authority really in the league. What I'm really pleased about as well, like the goals have been shared in the team, because not just relying on one person. I suppose you can at times say to Man City they rely on Haaland quite a lot, but Arsenal, yes, worse points off than last season. I don't really look at that because, like you say, it's a very competitive season. Aston Villa are having the season of their lives at this moment in time. I look at Arsenal right now and I just see a team that's just playing with so much freedom, and that's what Mikel Arteta always believed in, especially in the final third. You know, I've seen it, you know, at close hand what they do in the sort of final third of the pitch, and you see a lot of their goals, particularly Odegaard's at the weekend, when it's a cutback, and it's incredible. 1-2s all over the place. You've got wingers that are just playing with so much confidence and freedom and enjoying their football, and I think that comes from the manager. I always believe, you know, a manager is a reflection of the team, and Mikel Arteta has worked with some incredible managers, and he's just moulded all of that knowledge he's had as a player into his managerial sort of career, and it's flourishing. Yes, Matt.
Theo, do you think that you definitely need a proper goal-scoring number 9 to win a Premier League title, though? I know it's great that Arsenal share the goals, but do you not think to win the title you need a centre-forward that's going to, you know, bang you 15, 20 more goals in a season?
Oh, honestly, don't get me wrong, if I could have a guaranteed striker that could score me that many goals, I'm going to take it. But I'm just looking at, for instance, the teams I've played against, the Barcelona teams, for instance. Never at times, you know, had a number 9 that would score bags full of goals. I remember actually, I think Cesc Fabregas had a period of time when he was playing up front. You look at like the Spanish teams, they're not playing with a recognised striker, and I think Mikel's taken a bit of that as well into his Arsenal team, and not just. I know Jesus he's had his few of his injuries as well. Nketiah, for me, I think he's outstanding. I think he's a sort of forward where he's proven a lot of people wrong, and he's the sort of player that, given space in the area, he'll put it away. And I just think now they've got players that can rely on, and I think as well he's sort of sharing the load of the squad, and I think players understand that as long as they feel like they're getting their fair share and they deserve to play, Mikel will play them. But when you're top of the league, there's not really too many things to change. I mean, you're adding Declan Rice to the team as well. I'm sorry, it's going to make you a better team. Of course it is. You've got England's best centre midfield player in your team. You're going to be better off. So, yeah, I think it's the thing about this season, every single team's improved and taken points off each other. So that's where I feel like Man City is not going to be as close as last year.
Theo, tell me why you think that Nketiah is outstanding, because it's a kind of mixed response that he gets.
Yeah, do you know, what I like about Nketiah is, if you, especially kids watching it, when he's in the 18-yard box, he just slows down. You have a lot more time than you think, because these days with VAR, players don't really want to get particularly close as in the defensive side of it, because the forwards are getting very smart now because of how it works, especially when it's slowed down. But not just that, I just look at his finishing, his attributes, and give a player time and space, and if he's not rushing his decision, which I see most of the time he doesn't rush. I know he had a good chance the weekend just hitting the post, but most of the time he's going to put it away, and as well he's in the positions, and the player's always in his positions. The players will feed off that, and they, it's just like second nature. You don't even have to look where he is at times. He's, he likes to go both ways as well. So yeah, like I said, I'm a big believer of him as well. I like him to get a bit more of a chance, but when you got Jesus there pushing you as well, it's only going to sort of improve his sort of ability to be in an Arsenal 14. So, but yeah, I think the bench will be pretty important for Arsenal tonight, because you look at Luton. Yes, not going to be expected to win this game, but this is a sort of game where the bench players in these games, I've played in these games in the past, when you're playing against, let's just say, a lesser team, and you have a lot of the ball, they frustrate you, and it's the bench that sometimes will make this fixture. So it could be tighter than you think. Could be.
It could be tighter, but as you said, Arsenal being able to share the goals at the round at the moment has been really important for them. The last 9 league goals scored by 9 different players in that side. But Matt, I'd imagine you're more impressed with the 4 Premier League clean sheets away from home this season, because that's the best in the top flight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a big part of Arsenal's season that's gone very well, and also, Kelly, that links to set pieces as well, because defensively they've got a great record defending set pieces, and they're one of the top scorers from corners. So when you talk about an Arsenal team, you don't normally associate those two things as being their strengths. So I think they've looked at last season and thought areas where we could just gain little bits all the way through the season. Set plays, we're going to be coming at you every week, and you've got opportunities to score every week from set plays. So why don't we become the best at that? And I think that's a great attitude to have, and they've gone away and really addressed that and gradually got better. So I think that's a massive boost for Arsenal to know that you've got better in those 2 areas.
I think you were quite a good player, Matt, actually, in the past. I can't, being harsh on yourself in the defensive side. I think you're pretty good, mate.
I weren't that good, mate. I weren't that good.
No room for self-deprecation here. Only building you up. Otherwise, we look stupid for employing you as a pundit. And Matt, look, we can hear the crowd behind you. Rob Edwards has said that it's going to be a real leveller at Kenilworth Road. He's talking about the way that Luton are trying to find a way against some of the bigger and more established sides in the Premier League. Have you been impressed with the way that Luton have kind of learned on the job across the start of this season?
Yeah, I thought they started with a bit too much fear, a bit too much what if, what if we come out of position, what if we do this? And I think their first 4 or 5 games, they didn't really give an account of themselves that we maybe were expecting, and they've just grown into it. And the last couple of games I've seen them, especially at home, the Crystal Palace game that I was here, they were a completely different team. Ross Barkley all of a sudden looked like he was a bit of a maestro, really calming the game down a little bit, keeping possession at times, which they've really struggled with. If you don't have the ball, you're going to be vulnerable. So I think that they're much better. The 2 centre-backs wide of Lockyer, Osho and Mengi, have been outstanding. Physically, they're imposing, they're quick, they head the ball, they win a lot of battles, and they're gradually just getting a bit more confidence. So yeah, I think that, considering their start to the season, I think at this stage they'll be more than happy with how they're playing and the points tally they have at the moment.
Theo, you said this one could be tighter than maybe people imagine coming into this game. yes, we can hear the crowd as the players are set to come out onto the pitch. That's one factor, but what can Luton do to make things difficult for Arsenal?
Well, they can really use that energy, of course, from the supporting fans. That's always a factor, especially in these sort of grounds. But Arsenal, it can't faze Arsenal tonight. They need to do their job. But Luton, like Matt was saying, they have not started off great, but there is signs of improvement, like you say, particularly at home. And I think they'll just make it difficult for them. They frustrate them. And I think if you start frustrating an Arsenal team, it's just have they got their heads. But I'm looking at them differently this season, and I feel like they've got all the attributes to sort of look past that. But Luton have got to do that. They've got some experienced players like Andros Towns on there playing there tonight. I think that's going to be very key. Obviously, we know what you're going to get from Andros Townsend. But yeah, I think Luton are going to, because I thought I was wearing my top still. Luton are, they're showing signs of a team, especially this Christmas period as well. There's a lot of games coming thick and fast. They've been in the Championship. They've played a lot of games, more than Arsenal and other teams on a regular basis. So they're used to playing week in, week out every few days. So that won't faze them. So it's going to be, like I said to everyone, I think it's going to be a little bit tighter than that.
For them though, Mike Miney.
The whole game has been fine except for the last minute. Wolves have scored. Wolves 1, Burnley 0. Who else but Hwang with his 8th goal of the season. Burnley playing out from the back, caught in possession. Cunha slides it across to Hwang on the right of the penalty area, and he dispatches it into the far left-hand corner. Burnley before that had 2 chances of their own to take the lead. One saved, one deflected behind. But Vincent Kompany's side, who have been the better in this first half, are behind, and it's Wolves who lead. Wolves 1, Burnley 0.
At Hampden, it's Scotland against England. Gavin Wallace.
And it's still Scotland 0, England 1. England really on the attack at the moment, really starting to put their foot down on this. That goal came on about 12 minutes, from Alex Greenwood. It was the Man City defender's free header right at the back. There was absolutely no chance from a Scotland point of view. It was quite poor. And as it stands right now, England will still qualify. Scotland 0, England 1.
No surprise that England are on the front foot. They need goals and they need to keep an eye on what's happening in the game between the Netherlands and Belgium. Charlie Slater's doing just that.
Yeah, whereas we approach the half-hour mark, it is still goalless. The Dutch know they need that goal if they're to finish top of the group. Suddenly a stadium that was buzzing earlier, they all now look a little bit nervous. We had a stoppage as the Belgian keeper needed treatment for saving the ball with her nose. She's been the busiest player on the pitch by a long shot. Still 0-0.
Thank you very much for that. And in Alfreton, they're playing FA Cup second round football against Walsall.
Really enjoyable, competitive cup tie. There's still Alfreton 0, Walsall 0, but Alfreton have had 2 excellent chances to take the lead. 2 headers, Sean Brisley firstly straight to the goalkeeper, and then Dwayne Wiley from a long throw cleared off the line. Alfreton looking good with the long ball and the long throw, but still 0-0 with Walsall.
Welcome to Kenilworth Road here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, the chilly but cosy confines of this characterful Kenilworth Road. And a really busy week of Premier League football is about to get underway here on 5 Live. 8:15 kick-off here between Luton Town and Arsenal. Arsenal looking to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League table to 5 points if they can get the win this evening. Our referee, Sam Barrett, is all in black. He's just marching backwards out of the centre circle. And we have vivid colours on show this evening. Arsenal are in change kit. It is the lurid yellow with the black wavy lines all over it, the dark blue shorts and the bright yellow socks. Long ball being played downfield by them, having kicked off this game. Ross Barkley's heading it to his right-hand side, and Issa Kabore is clearing for now for Luton. They're defending the goal away to our left in front of the Kenilworth Road stand, packed with Luton Town fans. They're in bright, vivid orange shirts, a dark blue short for them, and bright orange socks. Clearing again from the dead ball line up towards Elijah Adebayo, starting as centre forward for Luton tonight. Carlton Morris has been ever present in the Premier League up until this point, but he's on the bench this evening. Adebayo is the central striker. David Raya, all in blue, has the ball at his feet. Very calmly plays it out to Gabriel. Jakub Kivior, the Pole, is starting at left back for Arsenal. He brings the ball in field, plays it across the Arsenal half. And now Ben White on the right-hand side looking for a little 1-2 with bukayo Saka, who's reached a landmark this evening. His 200th appearance for Arsenal at the age of just 22. I was just looking up his debut before the game as a 17-year-old substitute in the Europa League, November 2018, against Vorskla Poltava. I don't actually remember the exact game, but he's gone on to some pretty decent things with Arsenal, Matt Upson.
Do you reckon he remembers that name?
I think the name, no. The game, possibly.
Remember the game, maybe not the name.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's an outstanding achievement, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a player. So robust, isn't he? The amount of games he plays back-to-back, and he barely misses one, does he? I know he's had a couple of injuries this season, very minor ones, but he's so reliable, bukayo Saka.
Great atmosphere inside a packed stadium here. Arsenal bringing the ball forward at speed. Ben White back in the team because Tomiyasu is out with a slight calf injury, so not involved this evening. Kivior plays across to Martinelli. Martinelli's going to try and use his pace to burst past Kabore. Then he darts inside and he's fouled. And it'll give me a chance to run you through the teams very quickly before Arsenal take the free kick. So we're a couple of minutes in. We know that Wolves are leading Burnley by a 1-0. Hwang Hee-chan has his 8th goal of the season. That one kicked off at 7:30 this evening. Commentary of that game is over on the BBC Sport website and app, and that is because on Radio 5 Sports Extra, the big one in the Women's Nations League, England leading Scotland by a 0-0, and for them so far so good because it's still goalless between the Netherlands and Belgium. England win the group if they beat Scotland and the Netherlands drop points. If the Netherlands win, then England have to score a whole host of goals. So that game is over on Sports Extra. Free kick for Arsenal. Declan Rice runs towards it, then stops dead. So all the players just have to make their way back. And then Rice curls that ball in towards the penalty spot. It is headed up and away. Kabore doesn't get much on the second header, but Ross Barkley saw the danger. Then has his foot trodden on by Havertz. Doesn't get the free kick. Arsenal get the throw, but the referee stops the game. You mentioned Ross Barkley, Matt, just before we kicked off. I'm looking forward to watching him again. He's a really good player, isn't he?
Different Ross Barkley, though, Ali. You know, you associate him with being that kind of attacking player, taking people on, driving with the ball. He's not playing like that for Luton. He's sat in front of the back four like a midfield maestro, calming things down, long-range passing, just keeping the ball and keeping possession for Luton, which is essential, certainly in a game like tonight.
In the Women's Nations League, there's now been a goal in the game between the Netherlands and Belgium. Charlie Slater
changes everything. The Dutch have taken the lead. It's 1-0. It's Beerenstein who scored the goal. I thought she might have been offside, but because they lead, they now go back on top of the pool. They are top, and England now need to go goal crazy at Hampden. It's 1-0 to the Netherlands.
And England still leading Scotland by a 0-0. Slight stoppage in play here at Kenilworth Road. Gabriel Martinelli was caught, Matt, in the lower back, it looks like.
Yeah, it was a real collision with Mengi, who got tight to him. It was one of those ones as a defender that is an accident, shall we say, and the knee just goes right into the back of Martinelli, who's actually in some discomfort.
Yeah.
He's laying on the floor, and he was waving to the bench when he went down, like in serious pain. So it was a good hit from Mengi from his point of view, but Martinelli felt the full brunt of it.
So said the former England centre-back. Half-time at Molineux. Mike Minay.
Wolves 1, Burnley 0 at the break. Hwang 3 minutes from the end of the first half, sliding the ball home after Burnley were caught playing out from the back on the edge of their own penalty area. The Clarets will feel they've done enough to go in at least level. 2 really good chances just before Wolves took the lead themselves. 1 shot saved from Rodriguez. The follow-up blocks from the shot of Brownhill, but that's football. You've got to take your chances. Wolves have. Wolves 1, Burnley 0.
Gabriel Martinelli eventually is back on his feet, but he's really struggling, isn't he? Grimacing in pain, hobbling badly as he makes his way towards the edge of the field. And ironically, actually, there was a couple of challenges in there when Martinelli got hurt. We're about to restart the game with a Luton free kick. So Mikel Arteta's close by, although he's not paying any attention to Martinelli at the moment. He's going to leave that to the medical team and just make sure that Arsenal are ship-shape as they're down to 10 at the moment, with Martinelli taking a drink and waiting to come back on. Low free kick. Sliced up in the air by Havertz, who jumps to try and win the header. Saka heads it forward. Jesus flicks it on. Barkley gets the ball first for Luton. Little step over from him down the right. Clever pass in field, but Andros Townsend is outnumbered and loses it. Havertz takes it past Kabore. Kabore stumbles as he tries to make the challenge. Then Ødegaard just swings a left-footed pass out into space, which was meant for Saka, but Saka was a little bit further in field. It's gone out for a throw into Luton.
It's got the feel of a good game, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's, we know, we were talking beforehand about how a stadium like this can make the pitch feel really small and tight. Well, it's got that feel to it. Luton at the moment have started with quite a high press, actually. They're really trying to get after Arsenal a little bit, just raise the tempo of this game.
Last two games for Luton at home, the 1-1 draw against Liverpool, where they were denied a win by an added time equaliser from Luis Diaz, who came off the bench, and then, of course, the 2-1 win against Crystal Palace. So belief certainly there for Luton as Gabriel plays the diagonal ball towards his fellow Brazilian Gabriel Martinelli, who's now getting booed because he seems to be moving freely again. Cross comes in with his right foot. Saka lays it off to Ben White inside the Luton penalty area. Saka comes back behind White to take the ball, crosses in with his left foot, headed away, and Ross Barkley controls on the edge of the D of the Luton penalty area, runs forward, then turns back and plays it back to Thomas Kaminski.
It's just little things like that with Barkley, where it's just calm, isn't it? You know, when Luton are maybe a little bit under pressure or flustered, he just calms things down.
5 Live and BBC Sounds at Kenilworth Road. Attack developing for Luton. Jacob Brown looking for a pass down the left. It's beyond Alfie Doughty and goes out for a goal kick to Arsenal. Right, here's your teams. Luton have Thomas Kaminski in goal. 3 centre-backs tonight. They're without Tom Lockyer. So it's Tayden Mengi, Gabriel Osho and Amari Bell. So Bell moves from full-back or wing-back, if you will, to left-sided centre-back. Alfie Doughty comes in as left wing-back. Issa Kabore on loan from Manchester City as the right wing-back. Ross Barkley and Pelly Ruddock and Panzu in central midfield. Andros Townsend, Jacob Brown and Elijah Adebayo. Gabriel Jesus gets a first run at the Luton defence, spins, edge of the Luton penalty area and plays it back to Declan Rice. Graceful figure in the centre of Arsenal's midfield. Gabriel strokes a pass to Ødegaard. About 15 yards inside the Luton half. They work it to the right. Saka has a little dribble, attempted dribble. Thinks about taking it past Doughty, but Arsenal decide to recycle and play back to Saliba. Saliba works it back to the right to White, and then White looks for the diagonal ball forward to Jesus, who tries to turn it round the corner to Havertz. That doesn't come off, but the clearance from Doughty only as far as Ødegaard, played into the feet of Saka. Good tackle on Saka. Ball is loose on the edge of the penalty area, and Townsend reacts quickly for Luton to play it back to Thomas Kaminski, who's in dark purple in his goalkeeping uniform for Luton tonight. Clears downfield with his right foot, and Arsenal collect possession.
That tackle had to be right from Doughty there, didn't it? Feared the worst when I saw him scampering towards the ball, and there was a couple of Arsenal bodies in the box, but really timed it well.
Theatrical tumble from Jakub Kivior in front of us. The Luton fans aren't buying it. I think what shows you that his foot was trodden on, his right boot's come off.
Yeah, it's usually a sign, isn't it?
Yes. So Arsenal get the free kick. So, Wolves-Burnley, commentary online this evening. Scotland-England in the Women's Nations League on Sports Extra. Tomorrow night on 5 Live. Aston Villa against Manchester City in full. Kicks off at 8:15. We've got Manchester United-Chelsea on Sports Extra. The other 4 Premier League games all available as commentaries online. And then on Thursday night, commentaries on Everton-Newcastle on 5 Live. That kicks off at 7:30. And Tottenham-West Ham starts on Radio 5 Sports Extra. 8:15 kick-off. Second half will then be on 5 Live. Boos again from the Luton fans.
Yeah.
Doughty's challenge on Saka. Saka wins the free kick.
I mean, I really like the way Luton have started this game. They're being physical. They're trying to get tight to Arsenal. Doughty just leaving a little bit on the back of Saka. Okay, yes, it's a foul, but it's just the intent of Luton wanting to get after Arsenal. They're not going to make it easy for them this evening.
Luton 0, Arsenal 0. Ball played to Ødegaard. I'm hearing 2 quick goals have gone in the game in the Women's Nations League between Scotland and England. Gavin Wallace.
They have indeed, Ali. They have indeed. Lauren James, her first one just outside the box. It was a shot at goal. It was deflected into goal. The second one, wait till you see this one back. It's a worldie from 20 yards out with the inside of the right foot. Curls it well beyond the Scotland goalkeeper into the top corner. England, as it stands, Ali, need 1 more goal to qualify. They have to keep scoring tonight to keep that chance alive. Scotland 0, England 3.
Scotland 0, England 3, but the Netherlands lead Belgium by a goal to 0, which is why England need to get a goal further ahead, as Gavin's just explained. 0-0 between Luton and Arsenal. Townsend, quick pass out to Kabore, stretches, just keeps it in play, then it gets away from him. Kivior slides in, knocks it out for a throw to Luton.
Yeah, Osho, Mengi, Bell, they're all getting really tight into Jesus. There is Osho that time, the middle of the three centre-backs, came out from the back three, really went all the way in with Gabriel Jesus, didn't allow him any time on the ball and won it back for Luton, and then they could play from there. It's very much the kind of fashion that this game has started. It's really competitive.
Thomas Kaminski, the Belgian, enjoying a good first season with Luton, plays the ball out again. Mengi drives a high diagonal ball. Adebayo chests it down. Jacob Brown, the Scotland international, releases to Ruddock Panzu. Plays across to Amari Bell. Doughty wide on the left-hand side. Good patient build-up from Luton. Jacob Brown involved again. Now Ross Barkley, who celebrating his 30th birthday today, by the way. So happy birthday to Ross Barkley. Plays to his right, Mengi. Mengi comes back to Osho. Osho plays across the Luton half to Bell. Barkley, quick 1-2 with Bell, and then Bell takes it past the on-rushing Martin Ødegaard. Looking for the 1-2 with Doughty. Arsenal have won it with Saka. Saka is pulled back. The referee's got a good view of that. Free kick for Arsenal.
Yeah, maybe just not a booking from Bell, as he's the wrong side. I think he just about gets away with it. He does tug Saka back, but not quite obvious enough for the referee to get a yellow card out, but it was close.
Arsenal have taken their free kick. Ball at the feet of William Saliba, across to Gabriel, his fellow centre-back, looking to get Martinelli away down the left. Martinelli never going to catch that, and it ends up at the feet of Thomas Kaminski. And, of course, Matt Kenilworth Road, the ground where you cut your teeth, really, didn't you, as a young professional footballer?
Yes, I remember it really well. It hasn't changed that much. It really hasn't. We had a good wander behind the main stand when we got here, where the little media lounges got the same laundry.
Has it?
We used to clean boots, and very, very similar.
Yeah.
Good memories.
Osho volleys a ball over his head back into his own half. The funny thing you were just telling me, I think I'm allowed to say this on air, Matt, is that when the mascots didn't turn up before the game, you had to put the giant costumes on as the apprentices and run out there. And
somebody did sometimes, yeah. If he didn't turn up, then it was generally one of the apprentices with, I think it's Harry the Hatter.
Harry the Hatter. Yeah. So you have been Harry the Hatter?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
I never volunteered.
Oh, Matt, you'd have been a great Harry the Hatter. Flick on towards Adebayo. Good chase from Adebayo. Saliba's trying to hold him up. Adebayo into the Arsenal penalty area. Then Saliba gets his body in the way. Luton still have it on the left, though, with Doughty. Doughty fires it back to Barkley along the floor. Barkley has got Ødegaard right in front of him. Slides a pass down the inside left channel. Saliba's got it covered. Gets his body in the way again in front of Jacob Brown and lets the ball go behind for the goal kick to Arsenal. Harry the Hatter.
Yeah, well, there's just a little flash there from Adebayo with a bit of pace, wasn't there? I thought he was going to get the wrong side of Gabriel for a moment there. Just managed to reel him back in, but yeah, Harry the Hatter would have got there.
Yeah.
He would have got there.
Yeah.
It was hot in that suit, though.
Just as a trade-off for that, Matt, I'll let you know that many years ago I used to work at Euro Disney back in the early 90s, probably when you were taking football very seriously as a young man. And I was too tall for Mickey Mouse, but too small for Pluto.
Snow White? could have been one of her friends, couldn't you?
Here's Jacob Brown on the left for Luton. Running at these Arsenal defenders into the penalty area. Good cross into the near post. Blocked by Saliba. Declan Rice pokes a clearance away, only as far as Doughty. Another cross comes in. Ben White's there this time. White's volley pass reaches Saka. Arsenal know they're in for a battle this evening. Every team that's come here, I mean, Luton have not been beaten easily at home. They've had the one win against Crystal Palace, the two draws against Wolves and Liverpool, denied late on by Liverpool, as I said. 3 defeats against West Ham, Burnley and Tottenham, but all 3 of those defeats only by a single goal. And this is Luton 0, Arsenal 0. Ben White just on the edge of his own penalty area, walking pace. Then Jacob Brown just starts to move towards him, so White plays it into a central area to Saliba. Saliba to Raya. Raya forward to Rice. Rice is closed down by Barkley, high up the field. Plays across to Gabriel. Little back heel from Gabriel. Then side-footed ball to Rice, and Arsenal work their way out quite beautifully. Ødegaard to Kivior. Back it comes to Gabriel. This is being played right under our noses. The gantry, the commentary positions here is fantastic. You're right above the touchline on one side of the field. So when it comes this side, you beautiful view of it.
I mean, you just feel on top of the play, don't you? It's superb. We're probably, 3 or 4 metres from the touchline, really.
Here's Ødegaard again. This is all still inside the Arsenal half, keeping the ball. And then Saliba comes creeping forward. Ødegaard says, give it to me again. Curling pass over the top. Jesus takes a tumble just outside the centre circle. Havertz was chasing the ball through. Kaminski got it first. Up to Kabore. Ødegaard in with a tackle. Oh, Gabriel tackles Kabore. Gabriel then leaps in the air and spins down onto the floor, holding his right leg in pain. And the ball has come off Gabriel, and I think it went out for a Luton throw.
I mean, I think that's probably the 3rd time in this game that Luton have been really quite physical, but in a competitive way, not in a real overly physical way. It was a fair challenge for the ball. We just caught a little bit of Gabriel, but yeah, they're pressing high, aren't they? They're not kind of setting back and letting Arsenal have the ball. It's quite a brave move from Luton and Rob Edwards.
Scotland-England, been another goal. Gavin Wallace.
Right on half-time, Ali, as well. Beth Mead has managed to get that 4th goal that England need to get themselves through to the Nations League finals. It's been all over for England. They have been absolutely on top of Scotland for this entire match so far. A brace from Lauren James opened it up. Alex Greenwood's got one on the score sheet as well. And as it stands, Ali, England will qualify for the Nations League finals and that chance to qualify for Team GB for the Olympics. Half-time, Scotland 0, England 4.
Yeah, that is what's so crucial in terms of what is riding on that game. Beautifully explained by Gavin. Netherlands leading Belgium by a goal to 0, so England need to win if the Netherlands win by 3 more goals, and that's exactly how it stands at the moment. This is Luton 0, Arsenal 0 in the Premier League. Wolves 1, Burnley 0 at half-time. Complete miscontrol by Ben White, took his eye off the ball, and the pass has rolled right past his right foot, gone out for a throw into Luton and got a massive roar from the main stand opposite us. Throw in Luton, right on the halfway line on the left. Doughty takes it, throws it into the ground. Barkley's trying to get away from Ødegaard. He's knocked off balance, tumbles to the floor and wins a free kick for Luton. Netherlands-Belgium half-time in the Women's Nations League. Charlie Slater.
Where the Dutch lead by 1 goal to 0. The atmosphere's gone from nervy to relaxed, back to nervy again. When England scored that 4th, we saw the Dutch head coach go to his bench and shake his head. He knows the score. It's 1-0 at half-time here.
Thank you, Charlie. Ødegaard rushing in to make another tackle. Trips Amari Bell. That'll be a free kick for Luton. 18 minutes into the first half. No clear chances in the game as yet. And Luton are going to send players forward for the free kick from deep, but then it's played short to Pelly, Ruddock and Panzu, who's been with the club all the way through the ascent right from the National League all the way up into the Premier League this season, and there he is starting in central midfield alongside Ross Barkley. Long ball forward by Kaminski, headed up in the air by Jacob Brown. Declan Rice takes control for Arsenal, traps it, plays it back to David Raya. Raya's spinning clearance reaches the halfway line, headed forward by Mengi. Rice controls on his chest, again takes his time, picks his pass and rolls it to the right to Ben White. Saka's first touch takes him back into his own half. 1-2 with White. Ødegaard's waiting for a pass if it comes, but it comes back to Rice. Great chasing from Barkley. Arsenal keep it away from him though, and Havertz plays to Rice again. Here's Saliba inside his own half. Slight miscue pass, but enough on it to get to Kivior.
Yeah, it was nearly hit Townsend, that pass. He tried to play it first time, Saliba, with his right foot and just sweep the ball out to the left, and it ended up finding its way out there, but it could have easily just ricocheted off Andros Townsend, who was bearing down on him really quickly.
Kivior turns into trouble. Andros Townsend wins the ball for Luton. Flick back here to Amari Bell. Under pressure from Jesus, and Bell wanted to put a lot on that pass, and he's made Kaminski, his keeper, have to chase all the way back to the byline, and all he can do is knock it out for a throw, and Jesus gets the ball, which bounces off the hoardings, throws it to Saka. Saka's cut back, Martinelli's shot, and it ends up in the back of the net. And all of that came from an overhit back pass by Amari Bell. It led to the throw that Arsenal were allowed to take quickly. Arsenal switched on like a flash there, and Martinelli didn't catch the shot cleanly, but it was enough to beat Kaminski, and Arsenal tonight could be going 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Luton 0, Arsenal 1.
We'll talk about finding a different way to win a football match or score a goal. This is just brilliant from Arsenal, it really is. Yes, we can look at the poor back pass that put Kaminski in trouble. I think he's got to really put his foot through the ball and put the ball in the back of the stand. He just kind of rolls the ball out, and it's so quick for Arsenal to get hold of it, but they don't sit on their heels, do they?
they're right up the pitch. The throw-in's early. Saka then takes it into the box. Martinelli's arriving at the back post. He just gets there before Mengi. And like you said, he just skims that ball, cuts across it into the bottom corner. I mean, it's just a brilliant goal in terms of urgency and awareness from Arsenal to see that opportunity and then seize it. It's just top play.
You're absolutely right, Matt. Luton gets slightly unlucky in a sense. I mean, you're right. Kaminsky should have hoofed it over the
back
roof.
of the stand, doesn't it?
Exactly, because it bounces back. It gave Jesus the chance to take the quick throw, but it showed that everyone, not just Jesus, everyone
tuned in,
was switched on. Exactly. Havertz down hurt. He's fouled on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. I can tell you as well, it's half-time now in the FA Cup second round tie between Alfreton and Walsall. Chris Coles.
It's 0-0, but this is everything you'd want from an FA Cup tie. Combative, aggressive, a bit...
Cosa sei disposto a fare per una notte tranquilla? Almeno non sarà il pannolino a svegliarlo, perché con Pampers Baby Dry è più asciutto fino a 12 ore. Un Baby Dry, una notte tranquilla.
The second as they started the first, on top and keeping Wolves in their own half. Wolves 1, Burnley 0.
Luton 0, Arsenal 1. Midway through the first half here on a chilly night at Kenilworth Road. Gabriel Martinelli, that's only his second Premier League goal of the season. The other one was quite a crucial one, though. That was the winner at home against Manchester City. But as we were saying, Matt, Jesus switched on, Saka switched on, Martinelli switched on.
I think that's quite an important goal as well from Martinelli, because it's this type of fixture, isn't it, where you capitalise in those moments. It's been quite a, I say scruffy game, it's just been a really intense game. Nobody's really got control of it. Arsenal haven't been allowed to play their controlled passing football. And that goal has just settled things down for Arsenal.
Kivior's ball into the penalty area. Jesus chests it down. Havertz tries to get the shot away. Scramble clearance to the edge of the box. Havertz nods it down. Jesus shoots through the legs of the defender Mengi, but it ends up in the arms of Kaminsky, and that's a comfortable save for him. And he rushes out to the edge of the box, thinks about trying to get Luton away quickly, and in the end decides to hold on to the ball. The Scotland-England game in the Women's Nations League, also available on BBC One tonight, by the way, so you could always sort of have an eye on that on the telly, turn the sound down and have a listen to us. And the FA Cup game, Alfreton against Walsall, that's available via the iPlayer and red button if you want to watch that one. As Chris was saying, 0-0 at half-time, winners away to Southampton in the third round of the FA Cup. Luton 0, Arsenal 1, so as it stands, Arsenal going 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League table, with Liverpool away to Sheffield United tomorrow. Chris Wilder back in charge there. And our commentary game on 5 Live, champions Manchester City away at Aston Villa, whose home form, home record, end of last season all the way through this season has been fantastic. That should be some game now. Jacob Brown on the ball for Luton, running at Ben White, hits the calf with his left foot and wins the corner.
Well, that chance again comes from Osho, the middle centre-back, going all the way tight in with Gabriel Jesus. He has a touch to try and control it. It's not a bad touch, but he's so committed, Osho, that he just toes it away from him, wins possession back. Luton are then on the attack. They really are playing on the front foot. This is a confident Luton performance at home.
Alfie Doughty gets ready to take the corner from in front of the main stand on the opposite side of the ground to us. One tall floodlight pylon, the metal work of it, just away to his right. Both arms held in the air. Away swinging corner. Headed in by Osho. Now Arsenal don't concede many goals away from home, and you can hear what that means to Kenilworth Road. Great delivery from Doughty. Osho up high, powered the header into the top corner, and David Raya couldn't do a thing about it. Osho's equaliser makes it Luton 1, Arsenal 1.
That's a brilliant header from Osho, who made the chance happen with his defensive play. He started the game really well. He's enjoying that middle role of the back three. Gives him a bit of freedom to go and get tight in the middle of the pitch, but he gets his head on this. He comes onto it. Arsenal just can't get a head on the ball. It's a great delivery, but a powerful header back across the goal, right into the corner. Raya has got absolutely no chance. He's got a bit of power and is guided superbly into the far corner, just about a yard inside the post. Luton have deserved it, Ali.
It's only the fourth goal Arsenal have conceded away from home in the Premier League this season. A couple at Chelsea when they weren't really at the races managed to Scramble a 2-2 out of that one, really improved in the second half. The controversial one that beat them away at Newcastle. And now this goal this evening from Gabriel makes it Luton 1, Arsenal 1. We've got a game on our hands, 20 minutes remaining in the first half. Long way to go tonight. Luton starting the night just outside the bottom three, a couple of points ahead of Everton and Burnley. Saka's on the ball for Arsenal, wide on the right, trying to get past Doughty. Knocks it past him, but it's cleared away by Bell for Luton. Down the left-hand touchline, stooping header won by Saliba, throwing for Luton.
I mean, Jacob Brown is really enjoying his start tonight. You can tell he's a player in confidence. He's all over the pitch, tracking back, tackling Saka there, trying to run forwards. Like every Luton player, real energy inside Kenilworth Road this evening.
Given all the football we've got going on the network this week, Football Daily podcast, more important than ever for you. Available via the BBC Sounds app. If you're not already subscribed, get that BBC Sounds app, search for the Football Daily. Click subscribe and it'll be there for you in your inbox every morning. All the reaction, all the post-match reaction, debate analysis to these games, all these commentaries we've got this week as the ball is headed away by Ruddock and Panzu. Brown gets involved. Arsenal have won it back though inside the Luton half. Saka stumbles, picks himself to his feet, plays the pass to Ødegaard, has to stretch to control that, does well. Little clever ball to Jesus, who powers a shot into the near post, hits Kaminsky, and Arsenal win the corner.
Well, that's a smooth manoeuvre from Gabriel Jesus. Really scrappy build-up, Luton fighting for every ball, but Arsenal get it into the box. A little slip pass from Ødegaard. It's very, very kind of narrow angle to the side, but he takes it so well. He's got this kind of body movement, Gabriel Jesus, where it's just like a smooth flow, isn't it? He just really throws the defender, allows the ball across his body, and just powers it into the near post area.
Arsenal corner away to our left in front of the Kenilworth Road stand. Luton 1, Arsenal 1. Saka will deliver it. Goes short and low to Martinelli, who turns inside the Luton penalty area, tries to feed it back to Saka. Kabore too clever for that, blocks it. Martinelli goes down, wants a free kick, not given. Last touch came off him, and it goes out for a Luton throw. And I can just see there's a banner up there. Do you see? That's the David Priest stand there in between the main stand and the Kenilworth Road stand that says 10 years of Pelly. Pelly, Ruddock and Panzu, who I think in January it will be, January 2024, will celebrate 10 years at the club. And when he joined, when he first played, Matt, they were playing in the conference. And, you know,
amazing story.
It is, isn't it?
Amazing story, yeah.
And Luton Town now in the Premier League and mixing it with the likes of Arsenal. Saka lobs it forward. Jesus goes down holding his mouth as if he was elbowed by Amari Bell. He was trying to get past Bell and Bell was just holding his position. But Jesus very clearly intimating that he's taken a whack in the chops.
Yeah, Luton aren't messing about this evening. They are up for this game. He just catches Jesus a little bit, but he's well within his rights just to get his arm across and shield him from going past him. Nothing wrong with that. It's just been a really good physical start to the game from Luton.
Ross Barkley brave on the ball there. He had two Arsenal men on him. Turned Ødegaard, was running away from him. Ødegaard's fouled him. Then he takes the free kick. Barkley, diagonal ball, looking for Kabore's run down the right. Kivior heads it away. Andros Townsend to it first. Right-footed cross from him. Declan Rice reads it beautifully, heads it down. Havertz's pass, not enough on that. Kabore in with a challenge. Kivior clears for Arsenal up to the halfway line. Headed forward there by Mengi. Barkley heads it to his right. Townsend reads it again. Townsend then just shielding the ball. Caught by Kivior. And wins Luton another free kick. And it's the experience of the likes of Barkley and Townsend. It's fascinating to watch.
Yeah, I think they've just rattled Arsenal a little bit, to be honest. I don't think they were expecting this kind of intensity with the way Luton have started. They've just been everywhere, all over the pitch. Like you said, Townsend using his body brilliant there. Kabore's anticipation to win the ball back in the corner. They're just not giving Arsenal a moment.
It's really got Kenilworth Road jumping. 1-1. Ross Barkley waiting to take this free kick. 7-8 yards inside the Arsenal half. About 15 minutes remaining in the first half. Drills it high with his right foot. David Raya calls early, comes to the penalty spot and catches that very easily. under no pressure at all. Raya then slings it out underarm, puts as much on it as he can to get it to Ben White. Oh, Doughty's done well. Takes it off Saka, keeps his run going. Declan Rice comes across to try and cut out the danger. Battles with Doughty, but Doughty's won it back. Then he gives it away. Passed it straight to Ben White. Saka's under pressure. Arsenal being closed down inside their own half, and eventually they do win the goal kick.
How many times have you seen a player take the ball off Saka like that this season? I haven't seen it yet. I mean, that was just a real gamble, maybe a bit of a risk from Doherty, but it paid off, and every time it's happening, it's just lifting the crowd inside this ground. Very cup-tie-ish, isn't it?
It really is, mate. Yeah, it's got exactly that feel about it. David Raya smashes it straight down the middle of the park. Havertz jumps for it, doesn't win the header. Andros Townsend lays it off, but intercepted by Gabriel Jesus, and Jesus is speeding forward for Arsenal into the Luton penalty area, rolls a pass with his right foot to Martinelli. Good save, Kaminski at his near post. That was hit with real power by Martinelli. Danger not clear yet for Luton. Jesus again lays it off to Ødegaard. His shot is blocked. The ball spins straight up in the air. Martinelli sticks a toe out, controls it with his right foot. He's got Kivior behind him. Kivior's under pressure, and Kivior's just rolled the ball out of play for a throw-in to Luton in their right back position. Good save that, Matt.
Super save. Had to be strong with his right hand, Kaminski. Really good work from Gabriel Jesus on the left. Just pops the ball inside to Martinelli, who's on the run. He hits it with his left foot, and that's going just inside the post. Quite high up as well, mid-goal, shall we say, but the goalkeeper gets across quickly. That's a strong right hand.
Oh, that's a bit late from Jacob Brown on Gabriel. You can probably hear the contacts on our microphones here. That challenge has happened just beneath our commentary position. Both players racing for a loose ball. Gabriel got there first to play it back to his goalkeeper and took a bit of a whack.
Yeah, the reaction of Jacob Brown, instantly walked away, knew the yellow card was coming. He absolutely smashes Gabriel here.
Yeah.
He's late, and he catches him on the inside of his ankle. It's a proper centre-forwards tackle. He actually catches him a little bit more with his trailing leg. If it had been his lead leg, I think it would have really hurt him. But nonetheless, it's very late and certainly a yellow card.
Enjoying this one on 5 Live and BBC Sounds in the company of the former England defender Matt Upson. The first time these two clubs have played each other since they were in the top flight together in 1991-92, so pre-Premier League. Last time they played each other, Luton beat Arsenal 1-0 on Boxing Day with a goal from Mick Harford. Boxing Day is on Christmas Day.
Were you dressing up at Disneyland around that time? Or
91. I was about to. It was about 6 months before I was doing that, actually.
I can't get this picture out of my head. I literally can't eject it.
Throw in for Arsenal. Jesus jumps to try and win the header, volleyed away by Mengi, but only as far as Kivior controls it. Not a good pass. Adebayo's back there trying to win a tackle for Luton. Townsend stumbles, the ball comes off his right foot, and it goes out for another throw-in to Arsenal. But Arsenal, in terms of sort of winning games at Luton, I mean, if you go back to that era, it was a tough place for them to play at. So they've not won at Luton in their last 10 games in all competitions. Their last win here was back in January 1984. And when I looked this one up, they won 2-1. Kenny Sansom and Tony Woodcock were the goal scorers. Now that really does remind me of being a young lad watching my football in the 80s and sticking the likes of them in my sticker books.
I mean, the game in 91 must have been an Ashes turf on that school point. Maybe might not have been here yet.
Throw in, which I think the Luton fans over there in the Bobber stand felt was a foul throw by Kivior. Arsenal, meanwhile, a switch play over to the right-hand side. 1-1, 11 minutes to go in the first half. Jesus lays it off to Saka. Saka doesn't deliver the cross. Short pass to Ødegaard. Back it comes to Saliba. Arsenal being forced back here. Then they go wide right to Jesus. Jesus getting a bit of stick from the home fans at the moment. Ben White's offside as he leaps to try and win a header inside the Luton penalty area. And Luton have played a really good game so far in the first 35 minutes of it. Luton 1, Arsenal 1. Scotland-England back underway in the Women's Nations League. Gavin Wallace with the latest.
47 minutes on the clock, Ali. Scotland 0, England 4. As you say, we're just underway. Scotland with a decent chance there, tested Mary Earps early doors, but as it stands right now, England will qualify for the Nation League finals and, of course, that chance to get Team GB to the Olympics in France. Scotland 0, England 4.
Yeah, that's because the Netherlands are leading Belgium by a goal to 0. Wolves are still leading Burnley by a goal to 0 in the Premier League, and that will be finished way before this one because it kicked off at 7:30 this evening. Commentary on Wolves-Burnley available for you if you want it via the BBC Sport website and app. Scotland-England on Sports Extra tonight. Jesus runs into Bell. Both of them end up on the ground. Referee and assistant referee not interested. Jesus is immediately on his feet. Bell's taken a while to get back vertical. Townsend plays a pass back to Kabore. Here's Mengi, former Manchester United man. Right-footed pass, gently back to his goalkeeper, Kaminski. Kaminski one touch and then lofts one downfield. Brown wins the first header. Adebayo chests it down. No challenge on him. And then unfortunately for Luton, passes it straight out of play because Doughty was already on his bike down the left.
He's on his bike every time. Doughty on the left-hand side, that left wing-back position. The moment the ball's in the middle of the park for Luton, he's on his bike looking to get in that space behind Ben White, who's at times quite advanced actually. Gets up and supports Saka quite a lot.
Ødegaard on the ball for Arsenal, inside the Arsenal half. Luton bringing that press up. Barkley's high up the pitch here with Ødegaard on it. Barkley's following everywhere. Goal in Scotland, Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, and it's going really well for England now. This is exactly the start they wanted, Ali, to the second half. It was Fran Kirby just coming inside the box, just right into that corridor of doubt. The ball was put in, and she was making no mistake to put it beyond the Scotland goalkeeper. Scotland 0, England 5. And of course, as we know, that means they'll get the chance to, they will qualify for the Nations League finals and that chance to qualify Team GB for the Olympics.
Yeah, it gives them an extra little cushion at the moment as well, with Netherlands leading Belgium by a goal to 0. Scotland-England commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra. You can also watch it on BBC One. Last 10 minutes of the first half here at Kenilworth Road. Doughty just keeps the ball in play and then just picks himself to his feet in time to get there before Saka was able to take it off him.
There isn't a moment in this game at the moment, is there? Nobody has any time. I don't think the goalkeepers have any time when they've got the ball at their feet. There's just pressure coming from every angle. It's great to watch.
Luton fans roar another decision that goes their way. That was Adebayo jumping with Saliba. Saliba's fouled him and his arms wrapped around him, so it's a free kick for Luton just inside the Arsenal half. Martin Ødegaard is putting forward Arsenal's complaints about that decision. The referee, Sam Barrett, 6th Premier League game of the season for him, not having any of it, and he jogs off to take up a position to watch this Luton free kick. Alfie Doughty over it for Luton, stands it up high, chips it into the penalty area. Adebayo tries to nod it down. Arsenal managed to whack it away to the halfway line. Kabore is there. First time pass from him to Kaminski. Gabriel Jesus comes running in to try and challenge. That run is blocked by Bell, and then it's thumped forward by Mengi and straight out for a throw-in to Arsenal. Kivior wants to take it quickly. Declan Rice in position for him, right underneath our noses. Rice looking for an option. Back to Kivior. Andros Townsend sprinting across to make sure there's not an easy pass down the line.
Pinocchio, did you ever try that one?
Pinocchio. Yeah. Oh, I see. You're going back to the costumes.
You brought it up.
No, I did bring it up. You're right, I did. Here's Jesus. I've been Pudsey Bear before. But that's not Disney, obviously. That's more a BBC thing. Here's Ødegaard. A little back heel. That's clever. There were 2 Luton men on him. Finds Saka. Saka plays back to Saliba. Saliba with Luton backing off. Brings it up to the halfway line. Lovely pass from the left boot of Declan Rice. Bounces once. Controlled by Saka. Saka running at Amari Bell. 2 step overs. Left-footed drive. Kaminski palms it away. Kabore back heels it up in the air. And it goes behind for an Arsenal corner.
I think the moment that pass from Declan Rice went out to the right, it was such a good left-footed pass that I don't think Luton were quite set up for it. You knew there was going to be trouble. Saka cutting onto his left foot. It's hard to stop him coming inside when he's got that kind of space. It's near on impossible, and it was a good shot. And Kaminski again, really good save.
Yeah, Saka hit that as early as he could, and he was slightly unsighted, Kaminski, so he did well to get there. Good two-handed save, and eventually volleyed behind for the Arsenal corner. Luton 1, Arsenal 1. Curled in from the left into the near post. Ball's loose inside the Luton box. Hoisted up in the air. Townsend jumps and completely misses it. Havertz can't win it for Arsenal. Luton will bring it out. Finds Townsend. Townsend down the right here to Kabore. Kabore's chased by Kivior. Tackled by Kivior. And it goes out for a throw into Luton. Attacking position on the right-hand side. But we now have Luton player down. Peli Rodican-Panzu is down, who seems to have been hurt as they were challenging for that ball inside the Luton penalty area. So we're going to get slight stoppage in play.
Yeah, I think there's a real...
Is there an arm in?
Yeah, there's a little loose arm from Adebayo, wasn't it? Just defending that set play, but it was one of those that just hits him on the arm.
Yeah.
As they're competing for the ball. I think it was, obviously was looked at.
I think also, was it maybe came off Adebayo onto his arm as well, possibly. So, right. Netherlands-Belgium in the Women's Nations League. So this crucial for the Scotland-England game as well. Here's Charlie Slater.
52 minutes on the clock. The Dutch still leading by a goal to nil, but this one is so stretched now. Netherlands know they need a couple of goals, and that means they're throwing everything forward, and Belgium have nearly just scored at the other end. A brilliant free header for Tessa Villard. It's been knocked by the outside of the post. Glaring miss. Would have been even better news for England, but as it stands, still good news. 1-0 to the Dutch.
Yeah, that's right, because England are leading by 5 goals to nil against Scotland. They need to win the game if the Netherlands win by 3 more goals than the Netherlands do. Luton have taken their throw. Andros Townsend challenged by Kivior. Havertz in with some quick feet just outside the Arsenal penalty area. Played back to Rice. Rice launches it high and long down the left. Martinelli jumps, beaten in the air by Mengi. Headed out for an Arsenal throw. Let's check back in at Molineux as well. Wolves against Burnley. Mike Maine.
Wolves looking for that second goal. They very nearly got it. Craig Dawson getting the better of Josh Brownhill in the penalty area. Put the ball right across the 6-yard box. Needed a touch. No one there. Couldn't connect. And Wolves missed a big chance to double their lead. Burnley haven't had as many efforts in the second half as they did in the first. It is still Wolves 1, Burnley 0.
Great skills by Ross Barkley here on the edge of his own penalty area. Loses Gabriel Jesus. Plays it forward to Andros Townsend. Tries to find Kabore down the right. Intercepted. And then Kivior. Martinelli is caught. Down hurt. He's rolled off the pitch. Andros Townsend with the challenge. Mikel Arteta has come over to check that his man's okay. Play continues. Martinelli seems to be in some pain.
He was in some pain with that back injury, but kind of got up and ran it off all right, didn't he?
Goal in the Netherlands-Belgium game now. Back to Charlie Slater.
The Dutch have scored. Lenneth Beerenstein again tapping in, but should have been disallowed. They're offside in the build-up. It means that the Dutch need to score one more goal. If they do that, they'll go back on top of the group again. 2-0.
Yeah, the key difference is 3. From England's point of view, they need to score 3 more than the Netherlands if both countries win. So Netherlands have 2, England have 5. They're leading Scotland by 5 goals to nil in the second half. Martinelli getting booed by the Luton fans, back on his feet. Kabore's won a tackle, but he's knocked the ball all the way back, almost to his own dead ball line. So he goes scampering after it, finds it, clears. Adebayo chests it to Townsend. Townsend lobs it forward for Jacob Brown to chase. Ben White is across. Those two are wrestling with each other. And Jacob Brown is penalised. And that's a free kick for Arsenal. They take it quickly. Martinelli. Barkley comes sliding in on Martinelli. Ross Barkley's going to get booked for the challenge. Martinelli saw it coming and leaped over it. And I think Mikel Arteta feels that Martinelli is being targeted by the Luton players.
Yeah, he's getting kicked all over the pitch at the moment. I mean, the referee's let a couple go. And I think a couple of them haven't actually been fouls. They've just been hard contested challenges, and he's got the brunt of them. But that one there was very late from Ross Barkley. I think that he decided to go for it halfway through making that tackle, realised he was nowhere near it and wanted to kind of pull out of it, but couldn't because momentum was just taking him straight into Martinelli, and it was literally right at the feet of Mikel Arteta as well, which doesn't help matters, does it, when he's remonstrating with the referee as well as to how bad the tackle was. You're always going to be in trouble.
Matt Upson with us here on the gantry at Kenilworth Road. Luton 1, Arsenal 1. Closing stages of the first half. Ben White, level with the edge of the Luton area. Dummies across. Now gets the ball back from Saka. Stands the ball up. Jesus can't miss. Brilliantly worked goal by Arsenal. And Gabriel Jesus has only his 2nd Premier League goal of the season. He gives the Luton fans a little shush, but it was Ben White's deliciously floated cross that the Luton defenders could only watch as Jesus leapt and nodded in from close range. Arsenal back in front, Luton 1, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, they're just showing
times, Arsenal. You can see they're a team at the top of their game because they're just capitalising on moments. There haven't been many moments in this game. I've been so impressed with the way that Luton have set about them, but it's just lovely play. The run from Ben White is clearly onside. Great pass from Saka in behind, but the dinked cross is perfection. It's just inviting, saying, please come and head me in. And Gabriel Jesus obliges. He's in the air. He's got plenty of time to judge the flight of the ball. He hangs in there and he just punches it into the back of the net. It's a really well-worked goal from Arsenal.
So Arsenal again in a position to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League table to 5.
Se il giorno dell'esame sei tranquilla è perché hai studiato con CEPU. CEPU, studente preparato, esame superato.
Tomorrow, they'll be 6 points ahead of Manchester City. We've got Aston Villa against Manchester City in full here on 5 Live. 8:15 kickoff. Manchester United, Chelsea tomorrow night. Full commentary on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Gabriel Jesus now gets booked. So having just celebrated scoring the goal, he's followed Ross Barkley all the way across the halfway line, brought him down, and that's the first Arsenal booking of the evening. So Jacob Brown and Ross Barkley booked for Luton, Jesus booked for Arsenal.
Yeah, it was just so blatant, the foul, that I think the referee just thought, well, he's just nowhere near any intentions to try and win the ball. He's just fouled Barkley as he's running away from him, so the yellow card came out. But yeah, really competitive game, I have to say.
Very enjoyable first half. 3 goals in it. Arsenal having the better of it, leading 2-1. Doughty spinning free kick, headed away by Kivior. Bounces in front of Martinelli. Kabore gets his body in the way, gets to that ball as well, and side puts a meaty pass back to Kaminski. Just outside his penalty area on the right. The Luton keeper smashes it downfield. Gabriel heads it away. Havertz controls, flicks it over his left shoulder, then it becomes a 50-50. Well won by Mengi, just took it past Havertz in the nick of time. Ball forward by Kabore, is past Adebayo, nothing he could do about that. And Declan Rice gets onto it for Arsenal and starts to pick up a bit of speed and runs from left to right across the Arsenal half. Wide to White, Saka is trying to turn Doughty. White continues his run down the right-hand side. White then flicks the ball back in field. It doesn't reach Ødegaard because Ruddock Panzu is there to intercept for Luton. Doughty chips one away with his left foot. Rice heads it forward for Arsenal. Breaks again to Luton. Here's Adebayo, the big tall centre forward on the left. He's tackled, throwing Luton on the halfway line.
There's always someone on the run. Somebody has the ball. There was a run from Townsend from the right all the way across to the left there because Adebayo had the ball and he could have just slipped it down the line. He got tackled, but there's an option for every player when they have the ball. It's been that kind of game. Nobody's kind of sat back and just waited to see what was happened. Both teams have been really high energy, been really impressed with the movement off the ball.
Luton had given it away inside the Arsenal half. Rice quickly forward to Jesus, who was trying to turn away from Amari Bell. Felt he was held, sits down in sort of protest. And the referee looks at him, doesn't get the decision, so quickly gets to his feet, then chases Barkley. Now, both these players are on a yellow card, and Barkley's enjoying having Jesus chasing him around and trying to draw that challenge, isn't he? And just wondering whether Jesus might lose his cool. Long ball down the left. Doughty controls that brilliantly on the run and has Ben White backpedaling. Then the cross comes in, hits Ben White and goes behind for a late Luton corner in the first half. And how did Luton score their first goal?
On this side as well, wasn't it? Delivery from this side. Doughty with his left foot wants to curl this one in. I mean, I thought he could have come inside to get the better angle, but he went on his left foot to get that block from Ben White to put it out for a corner. But this is a great chance for Luton just before half-time.
90 seconds remaining in the first half. It's going to be a short run from Doughty at the ball. Here it comes, corner in from the left. Same spot he was aiming for as well. This time Arsenal managed to head it away. Ruddock Panzu lobs a pass to his left. Havertz intercepts, volleys it away. Shot from distance from Mengi straight at Raya, who clutches that to his chest, then falls to the ground in the 6-yard box. By the way, Matt, I was just thinking that cross, that lovely cross, the little stabbed right foot under the ball from Ben White to create that second goal. White's not been started the last 3 games. Tommy Yass has been in, but White's come in tonight and, does that.
Yeah, I mean, playing for the jersey, really, aren't you? Because this is how competitive. You've got 2 players in that right-back position in Tomiyasu and White, who are probably very similar, aren't they? Ben White's really played well tonight so far.
Havertz knocked over just inside the Luton penalty area after doing a few keepy-uppies. Tayden Mengi was having none of it. Saliba heads the ball away for Arsenal. He falls to Adebayo. Jesus comes sprinting back, thinks about making a challenge, then remembers he's on the yellow card, so just laid off it and just decided to sort of stop the momentum of the move. And now Luton on the ball, back in their own half, and their goal scorer, their centre-back, Gabriel plays it to Mengi. Mengi goes long to the left, and Ben White's got it covered, heads it out for a Luton throw. 5 seconds remaining in the first half. No time remaining in the first half because referee Sam Barrett blows the whistle loud and clear in the cold night air at Kenilworth Road, and it's been a really entertaining first half as well. Arsenal taking the lead through Gabriel Martinelli, quick thinking from a Gabriel Jesus quick throw, then they conceded from a set piece, Gabriel with the header, but then they got themselves back in front. White's delicious cross, the Jesus header should be a good second half, Malbson.
Yeah, it felt like we had to wait a long time for the first one to start, this 8:15 kick-off. We've been standing on this cold gantry, but that first half of football hasn't disappointed for me. I think it's been highly entertaining. And if I'm honest, I think Luton just must be delighted with how that half's gone. I know they're 2-1 down, but they've just played brilliantly. Rob Edwards will be going in at half-time and saying more of that in the second half, please.
As it stands, Arsenal will be going 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League table tonight, but plenty of football still to be played here at Kenilworth Road. Half-time, Luton 1, Arsenal 2.
And we'll get the thoughts of Theo Walcott on that very shortly. We'll be back with Alistair Bruce Ball and Matthew Upson for the second half at Kenilworth Road, where Arsenal do have that advantage. But it is very, very tense for England's women. They're in action against Scotland at Hampden. As things stand, Gavin Wallace, they will qualify for the Euros. The Olympic team will qualify for the coming Olympics in Paris. Oh, but it's nervy.
It isn't half nervy, especially with what's going on in the Netherlands. But let's not take anything away from how England have been tonight. They are still 5-0 up at the moment here in Hampden. They've been pushing. They've hit the post. They've hit the bar. They've had a great Alex Greenwood, a free kick from 25 yards out, which Lee Gibson saved magnificently well, way up to our left-hand side. So I think the sixth goal is probably coming. It's not a case of when. Sorry, not if. It's a case of when. We've had Alex Greenwood on the score sheet already. Lauren Jones with 2 in 2 minutes. The second, you really had, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but the second is from 20 odd yards. It's a worldly. She wraps her foot round about it, and again the Scotland keeper's got absolutely no chance as well. The big thing as well tonight, Beth B.
On the Netherlands game against Belgium, because England need more than a 3-goal difference in terms of the scoreline that they have against Scotland and that the Netherlands have against Belgium. So how are they getting on, Charlie Slater?
Well, we've played 64 minutes. It's 2-0 to the Netherlands. A single goal for the Dutch would do it for them and put them back on top of the pool. It is that tight. Like in the first half at Wembley on Friday, it is the Beerenstein show. 2 goals tonight, just like the brace the other day. One around 10 minutes before half-time, one around 10 minutes the other side of the break. It has been incessant Dutch pressure on that Belgium goal, and it does look a matter of time before they score again. And look, I know, Kelly, this isn't good for the nerves of anyone with England at heart, but you can't beat the tension of live sport, because here come the Dutch again, nearly one-on-one with the goalkeeper, cleared away as they continue to break down the left-hand side. We've played 20 minutes in the second half, little 1-2. This could be the moment here that puts them back on top as they play the ball across the edge of the 18-yard box. Low shot, falls to Beerenstein, cleared away before she could get a hat-trick. 2-0 to the Dutch. See what I mean? Tense, innit?
It is extremely tense. England doing everything they can then. They're 5-0 up against Scotland. We were hearing from Gavin Wallace. It sounds like that next goal is coming for England. But as Charlie's been telling us, it sounds as though the Netherlands are going to add to that 2-0 scoreline against Belgium. England need to better the Netherlands scoreline by 3 or more goals. As things stand, they are heading to the Euros on goals scored. The Netherlands get 1 more, though, and England will miss out unless they add to their tally. We're across all of that this evening in those games. We're also keeping an eye on everything that's happening in the Premier League, where Wolves are taking on Burnley. That was a 7:30 kickoff at Molineux. Mike Minay's watching.
Wolves 1, Burnley 0. Burnley, though, here, if you want to stay with me, have a dangerous free kick 25 yards from goal to the left of the D. Moments ago, Wolves had one of their own in a similar position, which Sarabia made James Trafford save and tip round the post. Wolves been better in the second half than they were in the first. Wang's goal is the difference between the two sides, and a lesson Burnley have been taught about taking their chances tonight. Can they take this one then as the free kick deflects over the bar and behind for a corner? It's got a little bit of a spice about it, this game, in the second half too. We've had 6 yellow cards, 5 of them handed out to Burnley in this second half, which added to Josh Brownhill's within the first 2 minutes. Wolves have also picked up one for Lamina. Still in this game, 10 minutes to go. Wolves 1, Burnley 0.
Mike, thank you very much for that. And let's check in on the FA Cup second round match that's taking place. Alfreton against Walsall. Chris Coles.
68 minutes gone here in what has been a really competitive cup tie. Still waiting for the first goal. Lively first period. The second, much more circumspect. No shortage of intensity, just a shortage of the chances which came so freely in the first half. The League Two side Walsall beginning to take more control in terms of possession, but they're not doing a great deal with it. And Alfreton have brought on some big substitutes. It's quite clear what their game plan will be as we enter the final 20 minutes of this second round FA Cup tie, and still very much anyone's. Alfreton, non-league Alfreton 0, League 2 Walsall 0.
Chris, thank you very much. In the Scottish Premiership, it's currently Ross County 3, Motherwell 0. Just to round up what's happening in the Women's Nations League. So as we know, England, as things stand, heading towards the Nations League final. And there are 2 other full-time scores to give you from matches a little bit earlier. In Belfast, it finished Northern Ireland 1, Republic of Ireland 6. And in Swansea, Wales and Germany drew 0-0. Coming up, we'll keep you up to date with all the games that are taking place at the moment, and we'll bring you second half commentary of Luton against Arsenal. That's after the BBC News with Nick Hatfield.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Good evening. The Home Secretary James Cleverly says a new treaty with Rwanda addresses the concerns of the UK Supreme Court, which last month ruled the government's asylum plan was unlawful. The court said the policy, which would see some migrants sent to Rwanda, was open to breaches of people's human rights. Mr. Cleverly has been in Rwanda to sign the treaty.
We've put both processes and structures in place which give us the reassurance of the integrity, the impartiality and professionalism of the Rwandan judicial system, and also about non-refoulement. And that is basically a technical term that says that Rwanda will not deport people who have been sent here. We have now got an internationally recognised, legally binding commitment from the Rwandan government on those issues.
The Israeli military says it's been engaged in the heaviest day of fighting since the start of its offensive in Gaza. Troops have entered the city of Khan Yunis and surrounded a refugee camp, which it claims has been used as a Hamas base. The Health Secretary, Victoria Atkins, says it's disappointing that junior doctors in England are planning more strike action over pay. Their union, the British Medical Association, has walked away from negotiations, saying an extra 3% is not credible. Junior doctors will walk out at the end of this month and in January. And Denny Lane, lead singer of the Moody Blues and a guitarist with Wings, has died at the age of 79. He co-wrote Mull of Kintyre with Sir Paul McCartney.
BBC 5 Live.
The voice of the UK. Win the headlines. On 5 Live Breakfast, we're giving you the chance to win the headlines.
You can win your way into some of the biggest events of 2024.
And tomorrow morning, there's another chance for you to win tickets to the Six Nations. Wake up with Rick and Rachel and win your way in. Win the headlines.
On 5 Live Breakfast.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sports with Kelly Cates.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
As things stand, England are heading to the Women's Nations League final. They are 5-0 up against Scotland, and Gavin Wallace, they're pushing for more.
More they really are. I think it's just that case of when it comes. Although Scotland just a minute ago there, and the Aston Villa forward, Kirsty Hansen was through on goal. Mary Earps come out, slid out, she spilt it. However, Kirsty Hansen put it just beyond the post. But England have got a free kick in a dangerous area out wide here. They're lining up just on the outside of the box. We played 72 minutes, and as we say, as it stands with the score, Scotland 0, England 5, they will go through to the Nations League finals, and of course that chance to get Team GB to the Olympics.
And that 5-0 scoreline, coupled with the Netherlands' 2-0 lead over Belgium, enough for England by just one goal, but it could swing if the Netherlands get another and they're pushing. Charlie Slater.
Oh, not half. If you'd have thrown to me 10 seconds earlier, you'd have heard me make some very odd noises. We've got less than 20 minutes left. The Dutch have nearly scored just now to make it 3-0. Vivian Maidema off the bench. The Arsenal striker has scrambled it into the box, and Martins has put it just wide. So a reminder, if the Dutch get another goal now, they will go back on top of the group. Here is the corner, knocked in to the box. The game, Kelly, is so stretched as it's headed away out towards the edge of the pitch. Looks twice as big as when the game started. So much room out there. Wouldn't even rule Belgium going up the other end and getting a goal. As Tessa Villard should have done about 5 minutes or so ago. As it stands, Netherlands 2. Belgium 0, substitutions and cavalry on the way for the Dutch.
Charlie, thank you very much. Charlie Slater then is watching that one. Gavin Wallace is keeping an eye on everything that's happening at Hampden between Scotland and England. You can listen to commentary of that on 5 Sports Extra with Vicky Sparks and Karen Bardsley. And coming up here on 5 Live Sport is the second half of Luton against Arsenal. Arsenal have a 2-1 advantage. Theo Walcott is with us. Theo, you thought this one might be tighter than most people would predict, and that's exactly how it's working out.
Yeah, do you know what? I think the fact that Luton have started, the intensity, Matt was saying, the commentary, just how the pressure, but it's just how long they can keep on going really at that intensity. We'll be relatively happy. I'm looking at the first goal, particularly if Luton are scoring, and when you see a player like Martinelli picking up Osho, I remember as a player, I never used to really want to sort of pick up the big centre-halves or full-backs coming into it, and I think, probably need to rethink that, if you're being honest. If you look at the goal, Martinelli really doesn't really want to go up for it, but that's not really his job, really, but that time of the game, it was his job. But what I've really enjoyed about Arsenal is Luton have frustrated them, but they still stick to their game plan. They've done essentially exactly what I said about the cutback, particularly for the first goal, which I really enjoyed. That's, like you teach kids to play the rest whistle play, and Arsenal caught Luton off guard. And they got punished. And then the second goal, Ben White, for me, that's a training ground goal. That is basically a training ground goal, and that's the sort of goals that managers just dream of, because all the hard work you do each session, and they're just the drills you do constantly, and when they pay off in a game, it's music to their ears. But Luton, I think they'll be relatively happy. I just think I'm not so sure if their fitness levels will be able to keep up to Arsenal's, possession stats. Particularly, they're going to keep the ball so often. So, but they've got to be proud of themselves, Luton, and the fans as well. It's really like the guys are saying on comms. It has got a cut feel about it. It really does. But yeah, I feel like Arsenal, will probably dominate the second half and get one, and it'll just be a stretch too far for Luton.
And it's making it quite a physical game, that atmosphere. You can feel that feeding onto the pitch. I know Arteta's been a bit annoyed about some of the challenges on Martinelli in particular.
Isn't he must, yeah. I mean, Mikel, he's still playing. It looks like he's still playing once again on that pitch, really, doesn't it? He's protective of his players, simple as that, and these players are used to getting kicked on regular occasions. They get up and they get on with it, and the best thing to is to quieten the fans and the opposition is scoring like Jesus has done. Martinelli is trying to frustrate players. There's certain players that have been booked now as well, which need to be a little bit careful, because Arsenal's smart. They know how to essentially play the system, should we just say. It's an interesting game for the physical side of it. I think there's been a few naughty challenges left, but that's expected. You're at Arsenal Football Club, come to Luton, got to make it difficult for them, and Luton really have, so they've got to be really proud of their first half.
But as things stand, Arsenal could be heading 5 points clear at the top of the league. They'll have their game out the way before their rivals manage to play in this round of games. They will have that from last season, and they'll be using that in order to manage this game in the second half. You talked about fitness levels coming into this in the second half. Could we see Arsenal, do you think, using their bench?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, Mikel's not the sort of person that likes to make substitutions too often and early. But, you got the likes of Trossard on the bench.
Clear with his left foot, and Jacob Brown flicks it on, finds Adebayo. Adebayo's pass looking for Townsend, intercepted by Gabriel, and Jesus knew he was in an offside position, so he's let it go past him, and it ends up back with Kaminsky again. So Kaminsky in front of him has got Tatum Mengi, Gabriel Osho, Luton's goal scorer tonight, and Amari Bell as the 3 centre-backs. Issa Kabore, the right wing-back. Alfie Doughty, who's had a great game on the left-hand side. We've enjoyed his battle against Bukayo Saka. Ross Barkley and Telly Ruddock-Panzu in central midfield. And now David Raya under a little bit of pressure from Luton centre-forward tonight, Elijah Adebayo. He's got Jacob Brown one side, Andros Townsend the other. And we could well see Chidozie Obene and Carlton Morris coming on for Luton. The second half, because not necessarily a surprise in the team lineup for Luton tonight, although Carlton Morris has started every single Premier League game. Townsend's cross into the box is caught easily by David Raya. But 4 changes tonight. It's a bit of a shake-up from what it's been, but those players can now come on.
Yeah, I mean, the players that have come in haven't really disappointed, have they? I think Jacob Brown's really put a lot of energy into this game. Adebayo's helped the ball up well at times and been a presence down the middle for Luton.
Ball hits Gabriel Jesus from a clearance from Mengi. It runs straight into the arms of Kaminsky. Had that fallen a bit more kindly, he could have run through clean on goal. Right, Women's Nations League ongoing this evening. Both games in the second half. England leading Scotland by 5 goals to 0. But what about the Netherlands, Belgium? Charlie Slater.
They still lead by 2 goals to 0. The Dutch are 2 goals up. There's 10 minutes left. They need 1 more goal. And as things stand, that would put them through. Here goes Mike Dahmer again, who just a moment ago should have scored. Keeper made a good save. Then Beerenstein hit the side netting. Again, the Dutch need 1 more goal. They are knocking at the door.
Thank you, Charlie. Keepers posted. Wolves still leading Burnley by a goal to 0 in the Premier League. Here's Doughty getting the better of Saka this time, attacking for Luton into the box. Cross takes a couple of deflections. Declan Rice chests it down. His arm was up high there, which is why you heard the ooh from Matt Upson. But officials here happy with it, and the ball cleared by Arsenal and back on the halfway line.
That was a nice play from Luton. Doughty tried to get around the outside on the left, and I think that took several deflections before it came to Declan Rice, didn't it?
He had a funny lean towards it, didn't it?
Well, he had to really adjust his position because it took a deflection just before the ball came to him.
Bell for Luton, forward to Adebayo. Back to Barkley, first time ball. Ødegaard tried to nick it off his toe, but Barkley finds Townsend, who hits the shot. It's blocked by Gabriel. That's going to be a corner to Luton, and suddenly...
They had a good chat with him at half-time, praised him a lot, but also said we in this second half. They have. I think those subs you mentioned will be crucial for Luton eventually. You can't keep performing at this level without making changes, and I expect probably around the hour mark or maybe even before that there may be a change or two.
Warm ripple of applause as Alfie Doughty goes over to pick the ball up and gets ready to take this corner for Luton. In front of that Kenilworth Road stand, lots of bright orange Luton bobble hats I can see dotted around underneath the roof and the lights over there. Doughty's corner, well hit with his left foot. Adebayo heads it in. They've got another equaliser again from the corner. Adebayo so difficult to handle from close range. He got up brilliantly. His header hits the back of the net, and it's Luton 2, Arsenal 2.
Wow, another set play. We spoke about the brilliance of Arsenal this season, how solid they've been in that department, both attacking and defending, but they've come unstuck here this evening. It's a really good delivery into the box, left-footed in-swinger from Doughty, and he just kind of drops it on the 6-yard line. David Raya comes out and he's so unconvincing. It's really poor from the Arsenal goalkeeper. Adebayo, he gets up early. Adebayo really hangs high and he just dominates that situation. Even though Raya can use his hands, he's just more powerful, more physical, wins the ball brilliantly in the air, and he just bounces it into an empty net because Raya's out challenging with him. It was a really good display from Adebayo.
Third goal of the season for Elijah Adebayo. What a call by Rob Edwards to start him tonight. Luton 2, Arsenal 2, and now he's closing down David Raya from kick-off. He clears downfield with his right foot. Doughty heads the ball away. Jacob Brown nods it down to Barkley, who looks for Adebayo again. He'll chase it down the left, but Saliba is able to beat him to it and play it back to David Raya. Full time at Molineux, Mike Maine.
Wolves 1, Burnley 0. Wolves controlled in the second half and held on to their lead, given to them by Hwang at the end of the first half. Burnley had some big chances, including Charlie Taylor with the very last kick, but on the left of the penalty area, sent it over the bar, and Burnley have gone wanting again. 3 other sides have lost more than 11 of their first 15 games. Sheffield United, Sunderland and Bolton. None of them has survived. 15 games played for Burnley, 12 defeats for Wolves. That's them up to 12 for now. Full time, Wolves 1, Burnley 0.
Thank you, Mike. Really interesting second half developing at Kenilworth Road. We're only 6 minutes into it. It's Luton 2, Arsenal 2. Luton 1, Liverpool 1 a few weeks ago. Luton beat Palace by 2 goals to 1. Twice they've been behind tonight, and they pegged Arsenal back again. And Arsenal, as we were saying at the start of the night, will know in this title race they cannot afford really to drop any points at all. So they come back hungry, looking for goals. Ødegaard gets the ball from Saka inside the Luton area on the right. Quick feet from him to get it back to Saka again. Saka tries to take it past Brown. Was that a handball by Brown? Saka just tried to flick it past him. Assistant referee had a good view of that. Saka then turns, complains, has the conversation with the assistant referee. Arsenal keep playing.
I think there may have been a touch of the ball to the hand, but it kind of spun up off Jacob Brown's leg. His body shape in that 1v1 with Saka was brilliant. He didn't want to show him down the line.
Great turn by Jesus. Jesus up to the edge of the Luton penalty area, rolls his pass to Saka's curling left-footed shot into the back of Bell. Oh, challenge there on Kivior. Head to the Luton penalty area. Townsend's down, Kivior's down. Challenge now on Saka in the box as well. And the referee is just going to stop the game as the ball runs behind. There's a flag up actually for an offside there. It was a slightly risky challenge on Kivior on a 50-50 on the edge of the box. Was it Townsend who... It must have been Townsend who made the tackle because
It was Townsend. I'm not sure if the offside was before that, but he had a bit of a loose touch and he went to ground. Kivior wins the ball, and then the follow through from Andros Townsend just catches him, and it looked to me like it was right on the 18-yard box line. And that would have been a really tight call had that been looked at for a penalty.
Yeah, Kivior's foot gets the ball, then Townsend catches him, but I can see why Townsend came off worse, because Kivior, as he hits the shot, his studs then go on to Townsend's ankle. So referee actually is in conversation with the video assistant referee, but that conversation seems to be over. Referee has jogged off and has just said to Thomas Kaminski there, just wait until I blow the whistle to restart the game. But they obviously had a look at him, man.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of VAR controversy in this game.
That's disappointing.
That's very... it's been lovely.
Yeah, exactly. Kaminski's clearance for Luton, headed forward by Brown. Saka pumps a high ball. Jesus making it awkward for Amari Bell, who tries to grab hold of Jesus' shirt. Jesus turns him, Bell fouls him. Free kick Arsenal, wide on the right.
Yeah, uses his body really well. Gabriel Jesus, I feel like Arsenal may have to come out in this game and really start to stand up physically to this test from Luton. I mean, you look at how the game's gone. Certainly Rob Edwards will look at it and say, we actually dictated how the game was going to be played out. That's the most impressive thing for me that Luton have done. They've really dragged almost like the level to what they want, and they've made it a bit of a fight and a bit of a scrap. And at the moment, they're more than matching Arsenal at that.
But it's Luton who now have the set piece to defend. Martin Ødegaard standing just beneath us here with a cameraman breathing down his neck. Was about to take the free kick. Ref blows his whistle. Ødegaard makes the little dummy run. Arsenal do this sometimes. Then he goes again with his left foot, in swinger, good delivery. Flicked header backwards by Havertz, just loops up harmlessly and behind for the goal kick.
Declan Rice did that in the first half, didn't he? Is that something you've seen a lot when Arsenal play?
I just think it's that thing to try and sort of put defenders off their stride so they're ready to defend, then you stop and then they have to reset and go again.
Disjointed, or maybe they drop a couple of yards deeper. Naturally, they don't quite get out as high when you have that fake run.
Yeah. Scotland-England latest in the Women's Nations League. Gavin Wallace.
Oh, we've got about 2.5 minutes or so to go, Ali. It's Scotland 0, England 5, and as it stands, England will qualify at the top of the group, and of course they'll get through to the Nations League finals, and that chance to get Team GB to the Olympics should it stay as it is. Scotland 0, England 5.
Thank you, Gavin. Havertz very nearly found a through ball for Martinelli, but now Luton have turned it into a counter-attack, and it's Andros Townsend with the ball at his feet. Gabriel just holding him up on the right. Back to Kabore. Cross comes into the box. Saliba stretches, gets a foot on it. Game's just opening up a bit now in the second half. Martinelli with space to run into. Low pass finds Saka. Saka up against Amari Bell. Saka with the ball at his left boot. Curling cross from him. Stretch from Mengi to intercept that. Alfie Doughty controls. Plays to Bell. Bell under pressure from Saka. Just passes back calmly to his goalkeeper Kaminski, who's right in front of the Arsenal fans in that Oak Road end away to our right-hand side. And Townsend plays the ball out to Jacob Brown on the left, and Brown overhits his pass down the left-hand touchline, and it goes out for a throw-in to Arsenal, which they take quickly. Saliba finds Declan Rice. 10 minutes gone in the second half, so loads of entertainment still to come your way from this game on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight, and plenty more football commentaries on 5 Live Sports Extra and the BBC Sport website and app over the next couple of days and on into the weekend as well, because I was just thinking Arsenal away to Aston Villa, which is a tough game for them on Saturday. That is a 5 Live commentary. Kicks off at 5:30 on Saturday afternoon. Doughty gets the ball from Brown. Plays to Barkley. Real confidence about Luton. Barkley, strength and speed. Ødegaard's down hurt as Barkley went past him. Still Barkley. Left-footed pass to the edge of the box. Andros Townsend gets it onto the left foot. There's yellow shirts all around him, but finds Barkley again. Barkley step over. Driven shot! What a goal from Ross Barkley! Incredibly, Luton are in front at Kenilworth Road. It's his first goal for the club. He started it all with the run from the halfway line. Found Andros Townsend. It looked like he was running out of space, but he got it back to Barkley, and Barkley's finish was straight and true into the back of the Arsenal net. Luton 3, Arsenal 2.
Well, what a second half so far from Luton. I mean, that goal just epitomised their whole performance of this match, to be honest. It was the power of Barkley, the aggression to burst past Martin Ødegaard. I think he just almost trampled over him in the middle of midfield. He then drives forward with the ball. An interchange between him and Townsend as the ball comes back out to Barkley. This is the Ross Barkley of old, the little step over and the lollipop, but then David Raya. I mean, there isn't too much you can say about this piece of goalkeeping from David Raya, because he's on Barkley's left foot and he just doesn't get down quick enough. There's not a massive amount of power on this shot, and it goes right under the Arsenal goalkeeper. He'll be really disappointed with that.
Right, this could be an important goal. Netherlands-Belgium in the Women's Nations League. Charlie Slater.
In the 90th minute, the Dutch have scored to make it 3-0. Damaris with a free header a yard out after the ball bounced bounced down to or off the crossbar. It means, as it stands, the Dutch are going through. It means, as it stands, England will finish second, and that's not good enough. Not for the Nations League, and not for their Olympic hopes as well. Netherlands 3, Belgium 0. We're into 5 minutes of stoppage time.
So England need another goal against Scotland. Last we heard from Gavin Wallace, leading by 5-0. Goals, drama, stories abound on 5 Live and BBC Sounds this evening. Goal in Scotland. Gavin Wallace.
It's all popping off here. Lucy Bronze with a header in the back post alley. This completely changes the complexity of what's happened in the Netherlands game. England have got a 6th goal. This is absolutely unbelievable. Tense end to the game. And as it stands now, England will get through the top of the group. Scotland 0, England 6.
How long left, Gavin?
2 minutes. I make it even, maybe a minute a push.
Okay, in 5 minutes of added time, Netherlands, Belgium. Commentary on the Scotland-England game on Radio 5 Sports Extra. You can also watch it on BBC One. Wolves have beaten Burnley by a goal to 0 this evening as well. And incredibly here, Luton are leading Arsenal by 3 goals to 2. They were 1-0 down, they were 2-1 down, and now they're 3-2 up. Jesus flicks the ball to Havertz. It's 3-3. Clever play from Arsenal inside the Luton penalty area. Delicate little pass from Jesus, and Havertz knew that all it needed was the faintest of touches to knock it past the on-rushing goalkeeper. That's what he did. Luton 3, Arsenal 3.
Well, it just comes at a time where Rob Edwards is just lining up 3 players to come on. I think it's Morris and a couple of others, Chong on the bench, but he just looks so disappointed. His team just gone ahead, and then Arsenal, it's such a scrappy goal. It's a hook forwards. Jesus makes himself difficult. He hooks it into the middle of the park. And we talk about Kai Havertz before the game, the impact he can have in these kind of fixtures. Well, he's just had one right here. He's running from midfield, bursts onto the ball, and he's just got a little dink, hasn't he, just to put it over the keeper in the back of the net.
3-3, Luton making the changes. Full time in Scotland, Gavin Wallace.
Yep, and it is indeed 8, Scotland 0, England 6. It's such an anxious way, just as the entire England team have put themselves in towards the centre circle. They're all looking and really wondering what's going to happen. We really need the full-time whistle to go between Netherlands and Belgium, because if it stands and it stays like this, Ali, then England will go through. What an end to this game. Lucy Bronze right at the back post when she needed it most. It's as if the England team knew exactly what was going on with the Netherlands score, and they popped up right at the last minute at the death. It was the last kick of the ball as they head over to my left-hand side to congratulate the England supporters that have came along. This is unbelievable. What an end to the game. It was Scotland 0, England 6.
Okay, so we've got to keep you updated then on the Netherlands against Belgium. Last we heard 3-0. They thought their late goal might have done it for them, but England incredibly scored a 6 just after that one. Triple change made by Luton. Chidozie Obene, Tahith Chong and Carlton Morris have come on. Elijah Adebayo, Jacob Brown and Andros Townsend have come off. You won't believe this, by the way. Charlie Slater.
20 seconds remaining. It's Damaris. He made it 4-0 with a header into the bottom corner of the net. And from heartbreak to jubilation, back again and then back. It is 4-0 to the Dutch. And that means heartbreak for England. Heartbreak for Great Britain in terms of the Olympics. 4-0 to the Dutch. This drama has been captivating.
Right, Charlie, thank you. Let's get straight back to Scotland then. Gavin Wallace watching this one. Do the England players know that, Gavin?
They do indeed, Ali. They know exactly what's happened. Literally, within seconds of that Netherlands goal coming in, you could see some of the substitutes and the players in strips. They were just throwing their arms about in disgust. They were not happy. They are completely and utterly gutted. They're in a big huddle just now in between the halfway line and the penalty box here at Hampden on my left-hand side. They know, and you really have to feel for them. You really have to feel for them after them winning 6-0 here at Hampden tonight. They are absolutely gutted.
Well, that is incredible drama. Just a regular night, really, of football.
Well, it's a good job this game's a bit boring then.
Well, exactly. Just the 6 goals. Luton 3, Arsenal 3 with half an hour to play. Ross County 3, Motherwell 0. Full-time score in the Scottish Premiership as well. Alfreton Town 0, Walsall 0 in the FA Cup second round. Right, let's focus in on the Premier League action here then. Heartbreak for England's women's team tonight and those Olympic hopes for the GB team as well to go and win away to Scotland 6-0, but the Netherlands have scored 2 in added time at the end of the game to beat Belgium 4-0. Saka's pass to Jesus on the right inside the box. Jesus just keeps it in play down by the dead ball line, looking for Saka again. Ross Barkley's back there, an offside flag goes up and Luton have a chance to take their time and clear their lines. And I mean, this game, you know, Luton have now made the triple change, 6 goals in it. This could go any which way, this one, Matt.
Absolutely. I mean, it is poised, isn't it, right on a knife edge as Arsenal look to make a couple of changes themselves. But yeah, I mean, since the goals, it's just kind of levelled out a little bit, and the teams with the subs that come on, it just has to find its feet again.
Full time now in the Netherlands, Charlie Slater.
And it's finished 4-0 to the Dutch. The jubilation on the pitch, clear for everybody to see. 2 stoppage time goals, all to their joy, all to England's heartbreak. They top the group, they finish first, and England finish second. It's finished 4-0 to the Dutch.
Zinchenko and Trossard on for Arsenal. Martinelli and Kivior, the 2 to make way. 19 minutes gone in the second half. 5 Live and BBC Sounds on a really busy week, packed with Premier League commentaries. Luton 3, Arsenal 3. Football Daily podcast will be a fantastic listen for you. First thing tomorrow morning, BBC Sounds app. Just search for the Football Daily and click subscribe. Where are we going next with this game? White forward to Jesus, wide to Saka on the right. And Arsenal knowing that Manchester City and Liverpool both play tomorrow, breathing down their necks in this title race. They need the win, but crucially Luton, you know, want the points, or at least a point, in their fight down at the bottom of the table. Starting tonight, 2 points above Everton and Burnley, 4 points behind Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth. Zinchenko then onto the field, into a midfield role immediately, closed down by Obene. Back to Saliba. Declan Rice hoves into view. Zinchenko uses him. Rice wide to Saka. Saka dances onto his left foot. Passes back to Zinchenko in the centre circle, who carefully curls a pass out wide to Trossard in front of that main stand, with Arsenal attacking from left to right in this second half at Kenilworth Road. Cleared away by Osho. Ball drops inside the middle of the Luton half, and Mengi just turns and plays back to his goalkeeper, Kaminski, all in rich purple. And his clearance with the right foot goes straight out of play. Chong thought he was given a little shove there by Zinchenko, but the decision is a throw-in to Arsenal.
I understand the introduction of Zinchenko at this time in the game from Mikel Arteta, who's coming into that midfield area from left-back. Arsenal are desperate to try and create something in this game, maybe have a bit of control possession and have a bit of link-up play. That you have to credit Luton, that they just haven't allowed Arsenal to get into their stride at all and really have that. You normally see them have that lovely passages of play on the edge of the box, don't you, and really toy with possession, but hasn't happened in this game.
The other debate that will raise its head, Matt, with the last 2 goals that Arsenal have conceded. So the Adebayo header, David Raya didn't cover himself in glory there, and then the Barkley shot goes underneath him. We're back into the Raya Ramsdale thing.
What debate's that?
Exactly. So, you know, and Mikel Arteta's not going to like it when the questions are put to him, but it's a situation that he has created at the football club, and it will continue to be discussed. Cabore's cross is deep, and David Raya decides to let that one go. Obene is offside, unfortunately, for Luton, so Arsenal will get the free kick. So, what do you think? I mean, Raya's very clearly the first choice and has been for a while, Matt, but does that put it into question what's happened this evening?
I think when you've got 2 goalkeepers or 2 players in any area of the pitch, that one of them's making some mistakes, you'd think that they're under pressure for their job. But that's how my understanding of how it works. But when a manager's back to play like he has David Raya, perhaps that gives you a longer grace period of maybe making some of those errors. And I think goalkeeper's not a position that you keep chopping and changing either, is it? That to me, I didn't really understand when that came into focus, because you have your number 1. And goalkeepers like that kind of hierarchy, to know where they stand. They have to train with each other, they have to be around each other. It's good to know where you stand in the camp, you know. I think that's a healthy thing.
Luton 3, Arsenal 3. Matt Upson with us at Kenilworth Road. Saka on the turn. feeds Jesus in the inside right channel. You can see that he's got Ben White immediately behind him. Plays it to White. White assesses his options, rolls the ball back a couple of yards, uses Ødegaard. Ødegaard's trying to turn away from Obene. Rice is there, just outside the Luton penalty area, to Ben White. Comes in off the right-hand touchline, played back to Saliba, and across to Gabriel. And Gabriel comes thundering forward. Pass to his left to Zinchenko. Onto the little figure of Leandro Trossard, who points where he wants Zinchenko to run. The pass doesn't quite reach Havertz, though, in the middle. Then it's cleared by Rudicum Panzu. Saliba comes motoring across to cover it for Arsenal, and in turn he plays back to David Raya. Let's get the details on the FA Cup second round tie tonight. Alfreton Town against Walsall. It was watched by Chris Coles.
All the drama and goals, Ali, clearly elsewhere tonight. It ended as it started here. 0-0, but a very watchable game. Plenty of chances in the first half. Quieter second. Alfreton just about edging the clearer opportunities, scuppered by poor finishing and some good goalkeeping. So it's all back to Walsall for a replay to see who'll head to Southampton in round 3. Alfreton 0, Walsall 0.
Winners of the tie eventually, yes, away to Southampton. Thank you, Chris. That's not been the most fruitful game for him, that particular tie. I was listening on Saturday when Chris had arrived and it was called off just before it kicked off, and then he was dispatched off to Hillsborough to watch Sheffield Wednesday Blackburn instead. Ben White's ball to Jesus. Jesus with a quick turn inside the penalty area. Was about to pull the trigger, and then the ball just got away from him. Amari Bell with the defending for Luton, Matt.
There's that silky shimmy again from Gabriel Jesus. Shifts his body weight, tries to go around the outside of Bell. But I think Bell just makes a little contact with him and forces him to nudge the ball with his standing foot. He just toes the ball away from himself there, Gabriel Jesus. But he's actually looked sharp in this last 10-15 minutes. He's a real creator, isn't he? He himself will say, I'm not the best goal scorer in the world, but he does enough create a lot for this Arsenal team.
I'm trying to think of the best way to describe that. You're right, Matt, about that body movement, about the way he in particular moves. It's elusive. It's difficult for defenders to deal with, isn't it?
It's very fluid, isn't it?
Fluid, exactly. Yeah, like he's. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I've not quite got the exact term. Throw in for Arsenal on the left inside their own half. How long have we got? 20 minutes to go. Luton 3, Arsenal 3. I tell you what, it'd be some point for Luton this. I mean, it could be more for them as well. But if you think they've drawn at home against Liverpool, beaten Palace, if they continued the run with a point here against Arsenal or more, then it's Manchester City who come here on Sunday. We've got full commentary of that game Sunday afternoon on BBC Radio 5 Live. Saka trying to get away from Bell. Brilliant. Inside the Arsenal half. Strength from Rudicum Panzu. Knocks Saka over. Rudicum Panzu shoots. Got him a little bit carried away. Hits it miles wide. And behind for the goal kick.
He saw the headlines there. And Panzu is brilliant from Amari Bell. Saka and Martinelli don't know what's hit them in this game. They really don't. They have been bundled to the ground so many times, but in a fair way, in a real, I'm competing for the ball, I'm going to get tight to you, you're not going to dominate, I'm not going to stand off and give you the respect of being two top players. You're at Kenilworth Road, we're going to set about you. And they've done it since minute 1, Luton. And it's just another example there from Amari Bell going all the way in the middle of the pitch, following Saka. Normally, a defender might disengage there or just half go to shepherd him out of the way. Luton are going in to win the ball every time and apply real pressure. It's been really impressive in that sense.
Luton 3, Arsenal 3 into the last 20 minutes. Hope you're enjoying it tonight as David Raya clears with his right foot. Aston Villa against Manchester City is our commentary on 5 Live tomorrow night, which also kicks off at 8:15. Manchester United Chelsea will be on Sports Extra tomorrow evening, and the other 4 Premier League games, busy night in the Premier League tomorrow night, will all be available as commentaries as well via the BBC Sport website and app. Ødegaard wants a bit of the physical battle against Ross Barkley. He's won it as well. Strong challenge on Trossard from Obene. Mengi comes in and wins it for Luton, then turns, calms it down and plays it to Ross Barkley. Plays back to Bell on the left. Wide it goes to Doughty. Saka fancies a little nibble at Doughty. Doughty keeps it away from him. Plays it back here to Bell. Bell with the longer ball. Carlton Morris will chase that. Saliba's got it covered and heads it down. Clever turn from Ben White. Little ball played forward to Rice. Saka under pressure. Doughty's come through the back of him. Free kick for Arsenal.
Yeah, no yellow card again. It was just another one of those that
was enough to knock Saka to the floor. He's now complaining to the referee. I can completely understand why Bukayo Saka's doing that. Doherty kind of kicks through the back of him, but he does it in a way that isn't obvious to the referee, so there's no yellow card, just a foul.
Ben White's ball forward, Havertz chases, Osho sticks with him, Osho knocks it round Havertz with the ball. He's out for a throw-in to Arsenal, and Osho knows he's got to leave that. He can't pick that up and sort of chuck the ball away to slow the game down, or that is a definite yellow card. I wonder whether back on the coaching courses when Rob Edwards and Mikel Arteta did them together, talked about Rob Edwards' players possibly giving some of Mikel Arteta's players a bit of the physical stuff in a game further down the line. I have to say, for this young Arsenal team, actually, it's not something you can accuse them of actually last season. Or this, they do stand up to it well, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
They give as good as they get.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely fine with it. They're taking it and they're going about their business. I just feel that Luton have won the battle in terms of the game is how they want it to be.
Ødegaard inside the Luton penalty area, not much space in there, finds Trossard, but Trossard ran out of space. Goal kick for Luton, time's running out for Arsenal if they want the winner, but Luton may well feel the same. Luton Town 3, Arsenal 3. Luton once beat Arsenal 3-2 in a League Cup final back in 1988 to win the club's only major trophy. I'm sure Luton fans remember that one. Brian Steen with a 90th minute winner. I think he scored 2 goals in the game. Cameras zooming in on Aaron Ramsdale, who's wrapped up warm. Naughty, given the fact that David Reyes conceded a couple of goals tonight, that he won't be best pleased, I think, when he sees them back.
I mean, every time there's a slight error from Reyes, just a zoom in for the rest of the game on.
It's always the way, isn't it?
On Ramsdale on the bench, isn't there? I mean, it's just, like you say, it's the story that's being created, really.
Here's Zinchenko finds Trossard, Havertz outside him on the left. Arsenal getting players in the box. Osho heads it away. Ødegaard thinking about a first-time shot from the edge of the box, but he's tackled. Barkley's in there. Now Barkley's got to be careful he doesn't lose it there. He has lost it, and Arsenal are there in numbers. Ødegaard, central position, 25 yards out. Ødegaard hits one, and Kaminsky saves that quite comfortably to his right.
Yeah, just opened up a little bit for Martin Ødegaard on his left foot. Barkley trying to do a little bit too much on the edge of the box. I mean, he wants to create, he wants to be calm, but he turned into trouble there, and Kaminsky got down to his right. It was quite a tame effort in the end from Ødegaard, never really troubled the goalkeeper.
Kaminsky drops the ball just outside his own penalty area, drives the ball downfield with his right foot. Carlton Morris wins the header, flicks it to his right. Chong will chase. Gabriel's there first, clears for Arsenal. Trossard finds Havertz. Havertz gliding forward gracefully here, getting away from challenges and then sweeping along. Pass to Saka. This could be danger for Luton. Saka inside the Luton box on the outside, right-footed drive. Bell does his job well. Blocks it behind for an Arsenal corner.
It doesn't allow Saka in on his left foot this time. Shows him the line and said under no circumstances you coming inside on that left foot because I know what's going to happen, and does a really good job. Amari Bell of shepherding down the line and just gets the block on, with Saka having to cross the ball with his right foot.
Arsenal fans so close to the action in that Oak Road end, away to our right under the corrugated iron roof. Arsenal. The chance coming out from there. Saka takes the corner right on top of Kaminsky, headed away to the edge of the box. Trossard can't hit the volley. Chong is there for Luton. Trossard stands off him. Now Luton will try and come on the counter. Doughty goes long. Saka's there. Heads the ball forward. Carlton Morris chests it down inside his own half. Tried to knock it past Saka. Saka blocks it. Saka goes running at Amari Bell. Morris thinks about making the tackle. Still Saka trying to get past Bell. Oh, the shot spears from Trossard over the bar. Took a deflection. Another corner for Arsenal.
Morris can breathe a sigh of relief because he gives the ball away when he has plenty of time. Saka reads the pass he's trying to play out to Obene, and then he has to sprint back to try and win the ball back from Saka, who comes inside, and I mean, he was very close to winning a penalty from Bell. If he had just made a lunging tackle, Bell did well just to withhold and just get his arm across Saka to put him off.
13 minutes to play plus added time. Luton 3, Arsenal 3. Saka trying to make space so he can have a proper run at the corner here. Just a slight little slope for him to move up as he strikes the ball with his left foot. In it goes, drops down at the far post, and Luton get lucky there that it falls to Mengi, and Mengi's just happy to swipe it away with his left foot.
I mean, that was right in the heart of the box, wasn't it? That could have gone anywhere. It just dropped, didn't it, in between bodies, and luckily for Luton, an orange shirt picked it up.
Bit of pressure coming for Luton to deal with here, I think. Obene's header away. Here's Ødegaard. Ødegaard's deep inside the Luton half. Plays back to Gabriel. Gabriel just forward of the halfway line. Declan Rice taking control of matters for Arsenal. Wide to White. White down the line to Saka. Right underneath our noses here. In the commentary position on the gantry, just above the pitch. Ødegaard again, bit of space for him to move into. Saka making a good run. Ødegaard might find him. Saka to Trossard. Saka's down inside the penalty area. Luton have it clear for now. Declan Rice into win a tackle. Rice shoots. That's blocked, and that'll go behind for a corner. But Arsenal are asking for a penalty, and they want the video assistant referee potentially to get involved. We'll have another look on the monitor. You can see the referee's already saying to them, Matt, don't worry. Don't worry, they'll look.
It's being looked at. I don't think it is a penalty. I think it's a clash. Saka does get to the ball first, but there's not an actual tackle from Osho. He just kind of stops his body, and Saka goes piling into him, and there's a real collision.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a penalty.
Checking possible penalty. Well, it's up on the screen. The interesting thing for me, Matt, is Saka plays a pass with his left foot to Ødegaard, and then the contact comes. If Saka was sort of ducking inside his man to tee himself up for a shot, then he's blocked.
He's offloaded the ball.
He's already offloaded it.
Offloaded it, and then his momentum's taking him straight into Osho, who is in the position, but it's not a penalty.
No. Video assistant referee Chris Kavanagh agrees with us. Arsenal fans boo and jeer. They were close to the action. They could see the challenge. Mikel Arteta's just shaking his head. I agree with you, Matt. I don't think that's a penalty.
No, it's not a penalty.
There is a match of the day, by the way, tomorrow night, 10:40 BBC One. So you can see that incident and all the action, all the goals on there. 6 of them so far tonight. It's 3-3. Corner from Trossard into the near post. Ben White can't do much with that. Gets something on it. And it goes back to Ødegaard. White to Trossard. Trossard dummies across. Then a low pass from him deep to Saka. Saka in a central position, 40 yards out. Back to Trossard on the left. Zinchenko makes a little darting run ahead of him, but it's played back to Ødegaard. Ødegaard's cross in. Not enough on it. Mengi heads it away. Only as far as Ødegaard, who volleys it to Saka. Saka does well. Just uses his body to throw off Chong. Finds Zinchenko. Zinchenko looks to his right and sees Ben White. Here's Ben White just outside that Luton area. In it comes. Havertz flick. Oh, and a little stretch from... Who was that, the far post? It was Trossard.
Oh, Trossard, yeah.
It was Trossard. Trying to get a touch. He's gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think it was a good in-swinging cross from Ben White with his left foot. Cuts inside, and the glanced header from Havertz nearly puts it in the path of Trossard arriving at the back post, but you just feel this last 10 minutes, Luton are going to have to soak up a fair bit of pressure. It looks like Arsenal just starting to build momentum, have a lot of the ball, apply a lot of pressure. They're going to do well to hold out in this game, Luton.
Can be some result this for Luton if they can hold it at 3-3 or even get themselves a winner.
I mean, do you think even if the result doesn't go their way, it sends a message, doesn't it, that at home we're a force to be reckoned with, and we're going to, be difficult to beat. I think they've done that already in this game, Luton.
I think quite early in the season, Matt, people had already written Luton off. They'd written Sheffield United off. They'd written Burnley off.
But they did start badly, though, didn't they?
They did. Oh, absolutely.
4 or 5 games, their performance level was nothing like this.
Yeah. But they've learned on the job, and then they're improving quickly, and they're really difficult to play against here at Kenilworth Road. It's 3-3. Arsenal fans still believing. Away to our right, Rice plays it wide to Zinchenko. Trossard comes infield, tripped, I think. Yeah, Cabore's fouled him. Free kick for Arsenal, 35 yards out. Trossard's getting involved in push and shove. Cabore's quite happy to have a bit of that too. So forward go Saliba and Gabriel. Havertz a danger in the air as well. Ben White's receiving some instructions from Mikel Arteta and co on the sidelines. In terms of their record, 5 wins in the last 5 games, all competitions for Arsenal. 10 wins, 3 draws, just the one...
Stretch there, Gabriel. He's trying to cross that ball from such a tight angle by the goal line.
Luton fans just tried to disrupt play there by throwing a second ball on the pitch, and Ødegaard, he's got such a good touch, just very carefully. First time ball knocked it out of play, so the Arsenal move could keep going, and now Ødegaard's playing with the proper match ball to Ben White. ticking. They've scored 3 tonight, but they've conceded 3. Rice, forward to Ødegaard, just outside the Luton box. Here's Havertz inside the area. Round the corner to Trossard, tries to get the cross in. Last touch from Trossard, behind for a goal kick. Luton are defending that box well.
Super defending from Mengi. Sees the run, lovely slick passing from Arsenal. They've got these little triangles and interchange going on at the moment. Runners off the ball. Mengi sees Trossard make the run and he just drops his position in there and just snuffs that out. Like you say, not rash defending, just good measured reading of the game, getting yourself in the right position. That is the next 10 minutes for Luton. They have to do that immaculately.
84th minute of the game. Luton 3, Arsenal 3. Trossard looking for Saka. Kaminsky off his line, like a shot to get that ball 10 yards outside his box, clears downfield, falls to the feet of Ødegaard, and he was nearly tackled by Ruddock and Panzu. Wasn't. Then he's played a loose pass back into midfield. Obene has read that and intercepted it, and then Ruddock and Panzu sees Doughty in a bit of space on the left-hand side, and Mikel Arteta is suddenly looking anxious because here come Luton. Now Obene can be extremely dangerous. Knocks it past Ben White. Beats Jesus as well. Deep cross from him. Goes all the way across the byline. Kept in by Kabore. Wide on the right for Luton. Cabore's tried to knock it past Trossard and collect it the other side. He's not going to be able to do that. Raya gets it.
Only Obene can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got serious pace, Obene. I mean, he showed it there. He knocked it down the line. He is gone in a flash. And I'm not sure Kabore is going to knock it round one of the Arsenal players and get it the other side as easily.
And so the rest of the week's football continues like this on 5 Live, Radio 5 Sports Extra, and the BBC Sport website and app. All 10 of these Premier League games, commentaries for you across the network over the next 3 days. Saturday we then got Manchester United Bournemouth at 3, Villa Arsenal at 5:30. Sunday Luton Manchester City at 2, Tottenham Newcastle at 4:30, and then next week we're back into the Champions League. So Tuesday night at Old Trafford for the crunch game against Bayern Munich, and Wednesday night at St James's Park for that big one against AC Milan. Ben White, lovely chip pass from him again. This time it finds Saka. Saka against Bell again. Corner of the Luton penalty area. White motoring past on the outside. Cross comes in. Dive header away. Ødegaard is beaten to it by Barkley. Barkley gets that ball back from Carlton Morris. Inside his own half. Chased by Saka. Followed by Saliba. Oh, Morris has given it away. Barkley was doing so well there. Morris then desperate to try and win it back. Comes in. Tries to take it off Saka. Doesn't manage to do it.
Yeah, a couple of times Morris has just been a little bit sloppy with his pass, and he's got to do better than that for his team.
Havertz on the turn, looking for Jesus. Jesus still out there. We've not seen any sign of Eddie Nketiah this evening. Declan Rice in the centre circle for Arsenal into the last 5 minutes of the game. Luton 3, Arsenal 3. Saka, cross on the right, that's good delivery, headed away by Osho, only as far as Ødegaard. Declan Rice wants it, Rice gets it, low shot, that one's blocked by Osho again, comes back to Gabriel. Gabriel just lays it off to Zinchenko, just outside the area. Trossard, back to Gabriel, here's Zinchenko, cross comes into the penalty area. Havertz with the header, tipped over the bar by Kaminsky. It might just have been going over anyway, but Kaminsky didn't want to take any chances.
Good hand, needed to make sure, didn't he? I agree with you, Ali. I think it probably was going over, but good football from Arsenal. Another dinked ball, very similar to the Gabriel Jesus goal, where it was just hanging for him, inviting to come and head it. And there's Kai Havertz at that back post, but can't hit the back of the net.
Last away game, they got a very late one at Brentford for Arsenal and won it by a goal to nil. It was Havertz who scored it with a cross from the right from Saka. Saka's corner doesn't beat the first man. Headed away, Ødegaard's going to get there first. Hair swept back for the Norwegian, wearing the number 8 for Arsenal. Finds Zinchenko. Zinchenko dummies across, plays back to Ødegaard. Oh, Trossard wants it. Might hit this from the edge of the box. Low effort, just wide. And behind for a goal kick.
Lined it up, Trossard. He wanted it early. On his right foot, he's just shaping up to hit this all the time, and he's such a fantastic finisher. Leandro Trossard, brilliant power and accuracy with his strike, but just a couple of feet wide of the post this time.
Jordan Clark is coming on for Pelly, Ruddock and Panzu, who, as ever, his efforts warmly applauded at this football club. Incredible night of drama tonight, particularly in the Women's Nations League. England thought they had it done. They thought they'd done enough to win the group, to give GB the chance of going to the Olympics. They beat Scotland by 6 goals to 0. but the Netherlands then crucially scored a fourth to win the group. They beat Belgium 4-0, so England only bettered their win by 2 goals, and they needed to do it by 3 goals to win the group. All the reaction analysis in the Football Daily podcast for you tomorrow. Late drama possibly to come still here. 88th minute of the game. So Clark is on, and Ryan Giles has come on as well for Alfie Doughty for Luton, and taken up in that left wing-back role. So that's just sort of broken up the rhythm of play a bit. Massive high ball launched forward into the Luton half, headed away by Bell. Declan Rice just gives it a good old knees up there, gets a foot on the ball. Tell you what, here's Luton coming forward with Obene. Obene's just outside the Arsenal area. Arsenal do have numbers back. Ødegaard tries to block his run. Ødegaard's fouled by Obene, says the referee. Free kick Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. To see it again on the replay, Ødegaard does really well to get back on Obene, and then maybe he gets an arm across him, Obene, but I don't think he pulls him back. It's almost like an out-strengthening of Martin Ødegaard as opposed to a foul, but the referee felt it was strong enough to give it. He's so quick, isn't he?
Yeah,
Obene, when he knocks that ball and he's got half a yard, well, he doesn't need half a yard, he could be half a yard behind you, and I think he's still going to get there.
90th minute of the game, Luton 3, Arsenal 3. Rice plays to his left to Havertz. Jesus wanted early delivery. He's not going to get it. It comes back to Rice. Here's Ødegaard again in the middle of the Luton half. Arsenal will still be patient as we wait to see how much added time we're going to get at the end of this game. Ben White just beneath us here, wide on the right for Arsenal. Saka, clever dribbling, surrounded by orange shirts. Eventually, they get enough bodies around him to clear the ball, and Saliba just lays it off to his fellow centre-back Gabriel, just inside the Arsenal half. Saliba wide now to White. White doesn't see anything on going forward, so has to come back into his own half again. Here's Saliba, cross to Gabriel. Gabriel rolls a slow pass to his left to Zinchenko. Bit of space to work with there. Trossard makes the run beyond him. Trossard wide on the left. Chip pass. Oh, it's hit Havertz in the back of the head. He didn't know where it was, and it's gone behind for a Luton goal kick. 6 minutes of added time, Matt. End of the game.
Well, it's too accurate a pass from Zinchenko. Havertz was hoping the ball be in front of him, but he just hits him on the back of the head as he makes that run, and the Luton fans, they've got a fair old cheer going on, because I think they're looking at the 6 minutes thinking, well, there's a bit of belief around here that they're going to go win the game, let alone just hang on for the point.
It may well be that Arsenal's last win at Luton will remain as January 1984, with Kenny Sansom and Tony Woodcock the goal scorers, and they're going to have to wait until they get their next visit to Kenilworth Road. But we are into 6 minutes of added time.
I mean, I can't see too many people leaving.
No. Ødegaard, brilliant turn to get away from Barkley on the halfway line. Looking for the pass through to Havertz. Great defending from Osho, just to hold Havertz off and intercept the pass. Luton have given the ball away. They can't really afford to do that now. There's going to be some tired legs out there. Ben White for Arsenal. Ødegaard was wide on the right, then drifts in field, gets the ball from White, forward to Jesus, twists his body, turns, tackle just outside the area, and it's gone behind for an Arsenal corner, which Saka comes sprinting across to take.
And that Luton back three just been outstanding this evening. Bell, Osho, Mengi, they've just been brilliant. They haven't given Jesus a chance. They've been tight, they've been snapping at the heels of the Arsenal players all day long.
92nd minute then. Luton 3, Arsenal 3. Corner for Arsenal, taken by Saka from the right. In it goes. Headed back towards Saka. Just short of the byline. Plays back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko, couple of touches. Great cross in. Headed down by Barkley. Might come out to Trossard. Chong's there to do the defending for Luton. Comes back into Arsenal possession again. Crossing from Gabriel Jesus in towards the far post. Gabriel was making the run. Luton again get ahead on it. Get it to Barkley. Barkley back to Mengi. Mengi's clearance block. That's worked out nicely for Luton. It just spins back to the goalkeeper, Kaminski.
I don't think they're going to get too much joy from crossing the ball with those three Luton centre-backs in the middle of the 18-yard box. They've been really dominant, really assured this evening. It's going to need to be some ball and some header to beat those three.
Listen to that noise inside Kenilworth Road, roaring their team to the finish line here. Kaminski's clearance volleyed away by Rice. Obene manages to make something of it for Luton. Support on the outside here from Giles. Giles, one touch. Low cross into the near post. Saliba's there. First time clearance, Saka battling with Obene. Obene puts his body in the way. Assistant referee says that has gone out of play for a throw in to Luton. We've had 2.5 minutes of the 6 minutes added time played. So 3.5 minutes to go. Manchester City fans, Liverpool fans will be loving this tonight. Arsenal are held by Luton. Villa City, our commentary on 5 Live tomorrow. Liverpool away to Sheffield United. That'll be available as a commentary online. Barkley heads the ball forward for Luton. There's Obene. Plays back to Barkley, immediately under pressure from Jesus. Tries to make a couple of lunges for the ball. Bell plays it forward for Luton. And straight into the arms of David Raya. 3 minutes to go.
And even Ross Barkley there, rolling the ball under his feet. He's just so calm and composed in possession. I mean, he just looks so suited to this role for Luton. Ross Barkley in the middle of the pitch there.
Declan Rice was driving forward for Arsenal there. Played it wide to Zinchenko. It's come back into the middle of the field. And here's Ødegaard. Ødegaard with the ball tied to that left boot. Running busily across the Luton half. Lays it off to Declan Rice. Central position. 35 yards out towards Saka. Saka's got a man behind him. Lays it off cleverly to Ben White. Arsenal win another corner. Obene blocks the cross. It goes thumping into the advertising hoardings behind the goal. And Arsenal get another chance with the set piece.
Yeah, late pressure right in front of the Arsenal fans in that away end. They're so close to the action. They're almost like willing the ball in the back of the net, aren't they?
Yeah, here we go. Again, so many of these late in the game for Arsenal. Can Saka find the delivery? In it comes with his left foot. Good header away. Ball bounces though inside the Luton box. Jesus is there, stretches. Volleys a pass back to Ødegaard. Carlton Morris rushing towards him. Ødegaard gets away from it. Here is Ødegaard now. Low pass. Saka loads of space on the right-hand side. Up against Giles. Saka teasing him into the penalty area. Right-footed cross. High to the far post. Doesn't reach Trossard, but it does reach Jesus. Jesus has got Chong in front of him. Jesus looking to get another cross in. That one's gone straight behind, has it? See, Jesus is claiming that Kaminski's caught that and then taken it behind for a corner. But no, goal kick.
Yeah. The assistant referee was along that line and indicated for a goal kick, so it looked to me like Kaminski did take it behind, but the ball must have clearly crossed the line before he caught it.
Getting louder and louder and louder inside Kenilworth Road. Coming up to just a minute left to play. Going to get even louder again when the full-time whistle blows. If Luton get their point, that point would take Luton to 10. It would move them 3 points clear of Everton and Burnley. We've got commentary of Everton-Newcastle, one of our games on 5 Live on Thursday, which kicks off at 7:30. The ball's gone out for a Luton throw, wide on the right, and other teams watching this, listening to this, Matt, who come here this season will know coming to Kenilworth Road is going to be really difficult.
Manchester City.
Coming on Sunday, eh? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Luton have got a few days rest, haven't they?
Play back to David Raya. Arsenal led 1-0 and 2-1 tonight. They then did trail 3-2 before Havertz got them there. Equaliser, 3-3 it is. Last minute of the game now. In fact, the 6 minutes, the minimum amount of added time is up, and Arsenal have a free kick, but it's inside their own half. They've thrown everyone forward. It's going to be the old long ball from Zinchenko. Up it goes towards the edge of the box. Headed away. Ben White is there. Luton wanting the final whistle as Ødegaard plays it to his left. Zinchenko takes a touch. Back to Ødegaard. First time cross. Header from right and in. It's in. In the very last seconds of the game. Declan Rice is mobbed by his teammates. Arsenal fans come piling forward to the front of the Oak Road end. Ødegaard's cross was pinpoint, and Declan Rice, the big signing of the summer, proves an absolute hero for Arsenal at Kenilworth Road. Stretches, gets his head on the ball, and guides it into the bottom corner. And Arsenal will go 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Luton 3, Arsenal 4.
Oh, just an unbelievable end to this quite brilliant Premier League match. What an evening here at Kenilworth Road. I mean, you just cannot believe this stuff. Luton dejected, laying on the floor. They've worked so hard to get themselves and keep themselves in this game. And then Arsenal pop up
was something like this. I honestly didn't see it coming. I thought they're just going to flick this into the box. Nothing's going to come of it. But Zinchenko's very, very patient. He sets it back to Odegaard. He clips it first time, and the header from Declan Rice is coming back towards the ball. So his body weight is coming forward, and he just glances the ball very slightly. There's a nice bit of pace on it from Martin Odegaard, but he gets enough contact just to steer it right into the corner of the far post. I mean, it's a brilliant header, I have to say. What a moment for Arsenal.
What a goal. What a moment in the title race. And what a cruel blow for Luton. They kick off, they pump the ball forward, and then the full-time whistle is blown. They were so nearly there to grabbing a point against a team that might end up winning the Premier League title this season. If they do that, Arsenal, they will look back to that Odegaard cross and that fabulous flicked header from Declan Rice that has seen them win this topsy-turvy game by 4 goals to 3. You really feel for Luton, but I have to say, Matt, it does tell you something about this Arsenal team, because I saw them do that at Brentford. Keep going, play the balls, and eventually they get the breakthrough.
Yeah, the game hasn't gone their way tonight, has it? Let's face it, Luton have made this game how they want it. But one thing Arsenal have done, they've stuck in there, they've hung in there. They're still at that point where they can score a winning goal in, well, it's not even the final minute, it's the final 10 seconds of the game. What minute was that in? Exactly.
I think we've just gone past the 96th. I think we're into the 97th minute of the game.
So you can understand why there's a lot of booing going around the ground. Luton are obviously devastated.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel the air from the Luton fans' point of view. It's just been completely sucked out of the ground. And there you go. The songs you can hear are all about Arsenal FC. 5-point lead at the top of the Premier League. And all the melee at the end of the game there, we can see that Mikel Arteta has picked up a yellow card. And his opposite number, Rob Edwards, is going round the entire ground here at Kenilworth Road to thank the Luton fans for their support. Harsh on Luton. You've got to credit Arsenal. They kept going right until the end. They spent £105 million on Declan Rice this summer to control their midfield and do all sorts of different jobs for them. Not necessarily pop up with winning goals like that one, but that's exactly what he's done. And the Luton fans now booing as the Arsenal players come down to the end, away to our right, to celebrate with the Arsenal fans. What a game. Luton 3, Arsenal 4.
Huge disappointment then for Luton players.